Underdog Daily with the Badge Bros, Jon and Nez hanging out. Black and Yellow Dog app platform of the people. Underdog Fantasy. We got short game slates today to deal with here. We only got a couple games of baseball there. One got rained out, so not much to talk through there. And then we got 6 games of hoops, but we will touch on all the results from yesterday, getaway day in the MLB there. And then we're going to do our first draft, our first NFL big board draft together. Kind of crazy that it's taken this long to get around to it, but when you're the multi-sport bros, the calendar is chocked full of other events to get to. So we're coming in blind, Nezzy. How you feeling?
Good. Feeling good. Great day for me. Great morning. Feeling good. Decent day yesterday in the streets. Not NBA. Atrocious NBA day for your boy. But had a decent day in the MLB streets. Yeah, excited to do our first NFL pre-draft together. God bless and Godspeed to the people that like grind and max these contests. I don't know. I'm more of a live in the moment type of guy,
Yeah.
There's sports on that I enjoy.
Yeah, you and I both, man. I don't need to flex that I'm the best at knowing football 12 months before football actually takes place. But to each their own, man, because it's incredible that we're at like a 90% fill in that contest. You and I haven't drafted a single one of them on stream together yet. And that's 200 and something K entries that are going into that thing. So the football crowd is truly built different and truly sick. Dude, things coming up, Nez, yesterday as you hit on with the baseball slate there. We'll take a look in a second. The hoop stuff, I did not have much success, but man, did the takes aged so well from yesterday, man. I was all over the Usman Dang stuff. So really liked
were
that.
You?
And yeah.
I should have watched. I didn't have time.
Yeah, the show did quite well yesterday, so I was quite proud of that. But this is what the people are clamoring for. This is what they're here for, dude. Let's get it out of the way here. Let's talk about it. Konnor Griffin's delayed call up here. Get him a week at AAA to prove that he's the best to ever do it. And now all of a sudden he gets the call up for the first start at home. How we feeling?
That's whatever. I'm fucking stoked, dude. I'm so happy that it went according to plan in terms of the call up. Weird that he had to play in AAA at all, but I mean, I don't know. I guess just like see what happens, see how the team's going. But now you get ultimate hype for this weekend series, which is fun. Mm-hmm. Now we just need this extension done. There's a lot of talk about it. I think they're going to get it done. I mean, they keep teasing it and putting it out there that like, hey, they're working on it. They're getting close. They threw out the Roman Anthony number, which I think is like probably where we're headed with this. I mean, he's a premier defensive glove with obviously offense attached to him. Like probably deserves more than Roman Anthony's getting, but he's also less proven. He has like a handful of games played professionally so far. But yeah, hopefully that extension comes next. He does need that service time at the major league level before they can announce it to maintain the additional performance bonuses that they can get if he does well. So maybe like after first pitch, they announce it. How's that sound? Get one pitch in, one third of an inning, and then you drop the bomb. But yeah.
No, exciting times, man. Exciting times for the club that leads the world in home runs right now, adding a potential another home run hitter to that lineup. Dude, were they playing chess, not checkers the whole time here with just delaying it for the home, like, hey, big debut at home kind of thing?
I think so. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's interesting because it's like he didn't necessarily earn it in spring training. Like he didn't have a good spring. Like
right.
But like who cares? It's spring training. Like he still had a 700 OPS despite the batting average below 200. It's, maybe just maximum hype, like now like everybody gets to see his very first game at Pittsburgh. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah. I kind of think, I don't know, man. I'm always like hard pressed to give the benefit of the doubt that they had this big, perfect plan, but like that all kind of lines up and checks out to me.
Right. Right. I mean, yeah, he's crushing it. A handful of games in AAA already, but like he was on base twice in every game, like stolen base out the wazoo. It just might not be as exciting of a start as we want. Like, he struggled in spring. That's real. That was his first time seeing big league pitching. Like he has no other spring trainings under his belt. So hopefully, it starts out fun and exciting, because that would be fun. I'd hate for his debut to be like 3 Ks. That would be fun.
Yeah, but sure, yeah. That's baseball though. But yeah. All right, dude. Fun day there. Let's push into some of the other stuff to talk about. I touched on it to start off the show yesterday there. A little bit of an April Fool's joke that turned into some fun news for the draft games here. Talked about it yesterday that we're going to have World Cup drafts. We got some navigational updates there. People saw some of it there yesterday when people saw that there's like a new line in the queue and stuff like that where it tells you, hey, this is your next projected pick. So when you're bouncing around, you can come back ever so slightly faster, whatever. And then we got the salary cap drafts. So I did a little speculating on it, but what do you think that means? What does that mean to you, Nez?
I think it's a pretty interesting wrinkle. Like, I mean, I wouldn't want our games to go away completely and get completely reshaped on us. I don't think I would like that at all. But I think that there is like a fun. There's something fun here, like, and what it doesn't solve is the time it takes to complete the time for volume. Like, that doesn't solve that, and it actually kind of makes it more difficult across the board for all games, for prize pool purposes and whatnot. But it creates new chalk as opposed to just highest projected player. It's like, when and it really comes into play in NBA more than anything, right? Where we have those late breaking news guys, redacted chalk becomes our chalk, TLDR.
Yeah. Well said. Kind of how I felt similarly. How do you think the functionality would be? Would you think it would still be a snake draft, but you only have a allotted amount of money?
Yep. Yeah. Snake draft, and you have a budget. So even if you get the 101, you might not always be drafting the most expensive player or the best player. There could be a better point per dollar play that you would take at the 101. So it would just like really shape the way that we draft.
Cool. Yeah. I think it'd be a very fun wrinkle to the contest, but I do agree with you that I don't think you would want to go 1-for-1 replacement. And then all of a sudden we get into the dichotomy of like, hey, are we splitting prize pools too thin? And are we spreading our player pool too thin? And like now, we already have 5 NBA contests on a given day that's, shifting value. Now all of a sudden, what do we have? 10 of them. And now I have no idea who's in what lobby and whatnot. So it'll be very interesting to see how it all plays out. Complete and utter faith and trust in the draft games community and the powers that be to like make this a successful endeavor. But I'm definitely like, my interest is definitely peaked right now of like a less RNG laden contest is effectively what they're going for, is my interpretation.
Yep. Yeah, I think so too, which, yeah, I mean, there's definite pros to it, but yeah, the cons I do have concerns with for the traditional games that we know and love and talk about every day.
Yeah. Like this is a good one from Brad here in the chat. Like, he's just guessing prices are locked, so best values get pushed up. Like it makes sense, right? Right?
Yep.
Like you can be like, hey, are we going to sign a cheap first rounder here and then backfill with some of the guys who are like not projection darlings who are falling? Like, Kevin Durant would come to mind as a guy who would be always priced up, but people wouldn't want to play it. So he'd be a faller, but people would push up the good chalk into the first rounds. Like, I think there's a lot of stuff that could be a lot of fun here, especially in NBA. It makes the most sense to me in NBA.
Agreed 100%. I think it's really the only place where it's kind of maybe not needed, but just makes the most sense, like you said, in NBA. Like, far and away.
Yeah. All right, dude. Anything else you want to hit on? We missed you yesterday. If the people did not catch yesterday because you only like to watch Nez and not just me, we did some Zamboni stuff yesterday. So if you want to check that out with Matt Moody popped on the program there. We did about an hour and a half. He ran the S words on that. Anything else you want to hit on before we go into the results of yesterday, Nez?
No, I'm ready to keep it pushing.
All right, cool. I have oh, there you go. You got okay. Let's go to you first here because you had some success in the MLB streets yesterday. Let's go ahead and share that with everyone. How did MLB go yesterday for you? A disjointed slate there, but an early slate that filled.
Yeah, so I got bailed out big time by our friend the Frozen Rope. Took first there. You might love this. I don't know. Look, Cam Schlittler because he's the goat. Triple Phillies with Jordan and your boy Toolshed. But my favorite play here was the 12% Real Muto.
Nice.
Yeah, just evergreen. Just JT Real Muto breaks slates. It's just what he does. You know, he might. It's not every slate, but he's more often than not going to break a slate, man. It just happens. It's a rule of these games. So glad that rule hit early. That really bailed me out because I didn't do anything in the web gem. Lost most of my money here. I autoed the web gem because Numi needed some help, so I helped them. Did my part, and I autoed the daytime diamond because I was I had a busy day yesterday, and just autoed it and ripped the chalk. Never again. Should have ripped. I would have rather ripped White Sox against Sandy. This failed spectacularly. I mean, not even a bad team, right? You get the Harper, Trey Turner, Soto, Robert pairing that was pretty chalk, but yeah, amounted to nothing. But here's what the winner looked like.
All right, shout out to Sean 85 here. I see my guy Bound in second place there as well. It was Jacob Mizrowski team who was only 65% drafted. That's okay, cool. I mean, coming off like that 11 Ks or whatever, I guess that just speaks to the depth of the slate there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we get a Liam Hendricks in there. Love to see it. A one-off.
Close.
Yeah. Oh, Liam Hicks. Sorry. Liam Hendricks, the pitcher. Liam Hicks as a one-off at 20% owned there. How was Liam Hicks 20% owned? Wow.
I don't know, man. Like, I mean, I don't know.
Wow. Ben Rice at 14 there. And then you get Jordan and Jose Altuve as a skinny stack. And then Willer Abreu off to a torrid start to start the season, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to this team. Man, the Astros off to a very, very good start to the season, man. Do not really want to face be a left-handed pitcher against them. That's for sure.
Stay healthy, Jordan, one time, man. Stay healthy, Jordan, one time.
Yeah.
Let's see Bounce team there next up there. Just give him some love here.
Sure. Another Liam Hicks team. But at least he went auto, and I went Casey with it too. Got the sick Maddox from Sandy.
Yeah.
With
did you see his interview after?
No, I didn't.
He's like, yeah, the fans, we love our fans, but they didn't really show up because there was like 6,000 people in the stands. He's like, we love our fans, but they're not really here, but we know they're watching.
Oh my God. That's hilarious. Sorry. I just made I was trying to fix my screen. That's hilarious. He just like called him out as he should. Like, where are you guys at? I just threw a complete game. You know how rare that is?
Mm-hmm. Unbelievable.
Complete game shutout. Like,
yeah.
No love.
Yeah, 12% owned though. Great play by Bound there, and then contrarian Miami stack, and then gets two of the best hitters in the world on his team, and Vlad lets him down there. Been a lackluster series for Vlad in general, or in specifically Vlad, but Toronto in general against Colorado. They're they've been priced up every day.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, it's all either Alcantara or Alcantara, but depending who you ask. And different broadcasters say it different ways. How do you say his name?
Alcantara.
Yeah, I say Alcantara too. Like that's how it always was when he was coming up. And then I think he was like a guy who went Devin HN on us.
No, I don't think so.
We just never did it.
No, I don't think so. I think that because that's such a white person thing to say. Alcantara. Like,
right, yeah.
Like these Latin phonetics are just like Alcantara, unless there's like an accent. Then if there was an accent above the A,
yeah.
I mean, it would be maybe then you go Alcantara because that's
Alcantara.
Like the emphasis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Pound was crying all last night in the Discord about getting passed.
He was.
I did not see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the dichotomy of community here. Eggers always with the glass half empty, with Jon was getting bullied yesterday, to the Stunner saying you dropped some major gems in NBA yesterday, Jon. So I appreciate you both in different ways, but the Stunner is my guy today. Love to see it.
Yeah, and then our guy Dan up here a couple times. And the
right
dad.
on.
Yeah, it was a crazy dad slate too.
Yeah, there was a bunch of late runs scored by the Twins, right?
Yeah, it was so annoying. Yeah. I was having a pretty decent day on my 12 entries, and then Josh Bell sent 1 yard. Keishel and Jeppers did damage too at the end. That was pretty irritating.
Look at that cheeky little double KC outfield with no Bobby Witt, no Sandy, no Vinny P. Let's just go put Isaac Collins and Kyle Isbell together. You know, if there's a dude who year over year is renowned for breaking slates at like 1% owned, obviously he's higher than that in this contest because you need outfield eligible in a 2-game slate. But like Kyle Isbell does it like once a year in like a 5-man onslaught. And it's just like a guy that I'm just like, this guy sucks at baseball, and somehow he breaks 1 slate a year.
I know. He's probably going to break more now that the fences are in too. My best go at it. Shout out Carter Jensen, man. Good for absolutely nothing. 17% in the 5-hole. I'm like, yes, let's go.
Did he get lifted or did he get hurt or neither of the above? Because he got scratched today.
No, he played all the way through. I think they just scratched him because they're like, wait, we can't put this guy back in our lineup. He just struck out like 4 times.
Yeah, he's golden sombrero, back to the pine, meat.
Yeah.
Oh, good shit. All right, dude. Good synopsis of the baseball stuff. Congrats to you. Congrats to the community there. I'll pull up the NBA stuff here. Your boy got 59 of them in, 55 in the main contest, and 4 in the crossover there. Don't usually play the crossover. Someone said something yesterday about like sorry, I didn't. There you go. I got it. Somebody said something, and it's, I understand if everybody didn't read, watch the masterclass, and especially if you only play other sports that aren't football, it's not worth your time kind of thing. But maybe we'll add some components in the future here. I have some of the writing already done and whatnot. But one thing that someone was talking about was like, man, I play the same contest every day and I just never cash. And I was like, well, what contest are you playing? And he goes, well, I'm playing the crossover. And it's like, well,
I'm sorry.
It's like, guys, we got to be mindful out here. I understand that like the $30 price point is more tantalizing for people to draft and stuff. But like, look at how small this little green bar is on the right-hand side. Like, if I'm preaching bankroll management from the masterclass, I'm not telling you to only play the crossover every single day, because you're going to have to win it like 4 times in a season to find your path to like breaking even, because there's a lot of good teams that don't even hit the cash line in here because the cash line is cut off at this 15, right? And you only 4x for the bottom portion of it. So just an evergreen reminder for the contest selection bros out there. Maximus, what do we go here? Maximus goes with Wemby with another monster night. I talked about it on the show there that like, hey, you can play it at 1 if you want to. I won't play it at 1, but if you think the narrative isn't that he wants to win MVP on national TV in an island game on ESPN tonight, that's on you. Jason Tatum was one of my highest owned plays. We pounded the table for him. I talked about putting him instead of JB at 5. I love that aged well for people. Scotty Bolway, just kind of a score that you needed in the middle there. The Nas stuff was good. Filipowski, it's just really interesting that they're like, all of a sudden they're letting these like starters play fuller. Maybe it's just because of some of the games that they've rolled in recent memories. It's 4 straight games against like teams that they were like, hey, there's no chance we can win kind of thing. So they're just running these guys full. So we talked about that dynamic a little bit yesterday with the flip stuff. And then RJ Barrett in there. I really liked that play. I was the guy pushing him up later as the day went on there. And then, even if Scotty played, I thought it was good. And it just didn't turn out all that great. Didn't hit a bunch of shots there. And Sacramento actually knocks off Toronto last night in a game that they really needed, to be honest. Second night of a back-to-back there. Precious getting his revenge in that one. Flip over to the main contest here just to show you guys the winner of that one. And shout out to Buck 8 here. We also got Cowboys up here. We got the Burt Bra of the Solver up here as well. Cover boy Jamal Murray, he gets it done in a big way. Tatum falls in this room. Unbelievable start there. And then more of this Filipowski, And then the VJ stuff aged well in the last round because he got pushed up ever so slightly after that to the point in which he was drafted 100%. But he got pushed up pretty high there when we got in the Embiid push-pull situation there. Man. Sanjay Rich is up here a bunch.
I can't believe Paul George wasn't in the winning lineup.
Yeah, man. It's crazy that Paul George had like 60 or whatever in the third round, and just the way it ended up is a Tatum third round team outscored him kind of thing. I imagine he's in the second and third place finishers here. Nope.
Wow.
Same combo. Hey, shout out to there you go. Hey, shout out to me for this one. Reed Shepard 7%. Another one of my scrolls yesterday as the call there. Second night of the back-to-back. Thought there was a chance he could return to the starting lineup. Thought that the young legs on the second night would do well.
Yeah, good shout, man. I did so poorly. I had like no Paul George and like no Jason Tatum. Imagine having like none of the third round like 60 balls and picture what my ROI looked like last night. I actually had a close one in the buzzer beater, but oh man, it was terrible.
We turned the page, baby. We turned the page.
See what happens when I don't do shows with you, dude? I can't do anything.
I love this for Dylan. Ashley, he said he jammed dang last night. Love that. Precious saved Sanjay Rich's life. So I imagine if we look at those Sanjay Rich lineups, he had Precious in both of them. 6.5% on that one. 6.5% on that one. Congrats to you, my friend. That was beautifully done. It's interesting to look back at these lineups because the fluidity of the back end of the first round and the second round of yesterday, I was jamming like Tatum and Jamal together at the right-hand side of the board, which means I was missing it with Wemby, so it was just like, oh yeah. If I was drafting my good plays earlier in the day and catching them to fall on the left side, maybe I would have done a lot better kind of deal.
Yeah, it's a shame. You clearly were dialed.
Yeah, I had a bunch of like teams like this, where it was like Tatum and Jamal, like those were my plays, fell in love with the Montas stuff, did a bunch of the dang stuff, and then was doing like the scroll Utah or scroll whatever. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, that was just didn't get them in the right combos kind of night for your boy, but knew what the good plays were. All right, Nez, let's do it, man. We got 6 games of hoops here with some back-to-backs included. We got some big name stars on it. We also got some competitive basketball, which is really nice to see. Like we got some meaningful games, right? Like Pistons and T-Wolves will be going hard tonight. Suns and Hornets will be going hard. Lakers and OKC will be going hard. Cavs and Warriors, both playoff teams that need something. Pelicans have nothing to play for, but they have nothing to protect as well. So they'll probably be going hard tonight. Blazers have been running hella tight. And then Clippers and Spurs playing for Western Conference, stay out of the play-in / try and catch OKC. So every game tonight, meaningful, man.
Yeah, I love that. That's a rare sight these days.
Yeah, it's going to make for a nice setup on the slate here. Another thing I'll point out, 2 early games with the 7 p.m.s, and then a huge gap, and then we go 9:30, 10, 10 in terms of Eastern, and 10:30 in terms of Eastern time zone for the start times here. So that huge gap, you guys got to be ready for your swaps just in case we get Trey Murphy news in there. The other thing is, if we do get Trey Murphy news, there's not much to swap into on a 6-game slate with only 1.5 games-ish left in that window. Maybe you can swap to 3 of them if you get it before that 7 o'clock my time, 10 p.m. Eastern kind of spot there. So yeah, just that's kind of like the macro before we get into the back-to-backs and the game-by-game kind of stuff. But anything else that's kind of driving the slate for you today, Nez?
Just Anthony Edwards. It's kind of like the story of the slate for me. I've got a ton of Ant at the moment. And a lot of Darius Garland, it looks like, too, which interesting. I don't know
Yep.
that I'm doing that totally on purpose, but got a lot of him.
Just to remind everybody, Anthony Edwards last time out had the Q tag. He made his return after missing almost 3 weeks. We'll call it something like that. Question mark. Yeah, he plays off of the bench and plays 22 minutes, and Io cooks. Like, yeah, we didn't have that one on the bingo card for Monday's slate there. So, yeah, what are your thoughts if he's able to go this evening? Or I guess the way you're drafting, you're anticipating him being able to go this evening. But what are your kind of thoughts in terms of like any kind of restriction, or, is he coming off the bench again? Like, to be fair, the bench stint was like he was on the bench for like 2 minutes, and then Mike Conley had 2 quick ones, and then he came into the game, I think.
Yeah, and he said, "Oh, I was taking a shit," but then he only played 22 minutes, so it is like kind of weird. I don't know, but why bench him for 2 minutes?
Right.
I mean, I'm not expecting 35 minutes of Anthony Edwards, but can a boy dream of 30?
Mm-hmm.
Can I get 28 in the third round? Like, I think he's just like a smash play in the third round, because I think he plays too. Like, I don't think he's going to sit. I think he wants those 65 games played.
Yeah.
So that point of the 65 games could also maybe be the downfall of this, where it's like, hey, he plays, but he actually isn't going to play that. He's going to only play 23 again, because he's really just trying to get games under his belt for these awards. So that's always an option too. But I think that we're going to see Anthony Edwards pretty full, just because he's just a dog, man. Like, this was so rare for him against Dallas. Like, we thought he would be pretty close to full, or at least I did.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah, cool. Yeah, well said. I respect that. Yeah, it is so rare for him. He is a guy that usually when he returns, he plays big time. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're working him in a little bit here. But 28 in the third round on a 6-game slate, that's definitely gonna play, man. Like, that's definitely gonna be good. Let's talk about the upper echelon here, because there's a lot to poke holes in at the top. We got the Wemby going for MVP narrative and that sort of deal. Like, the minutes have been like a little bit capped, but you can tell he's balling out of his mind right now. And like, Fox has taken like a little bit of a back seat offensively, and this has kind of become like Castle and Wemby's team here. Luka is on another planet with these 40 and 10s all the time, and like, it's just another stratosphere for Luka right now. But he gets that hard on ball OKC defense here. And then we got SGA playing for the MVP narratives as well. They're in a important game versus the Lakers for that head-to-head to just stay atop here. How are you ranking out the big 3 tonight?
I'm playing it by ADP.
Okay.
Yeah. Wemby, Luka, Shea for me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fight you on that. I could see it both ways on the Luka stuff, where it's like a matchup thing or it's not, but like, Wemby has just been insane and playing like 28, 30, 30, 26, 26, 63, 69, 56, 76, 76. Like, man, these 41s and 18s, 41 and 16. Like, I don't know how you just don't look at Wemby right now and go like, holy shit, the Western Conference might be in trouble this postseason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. Playoff experience. Screw it, right, Nez? Did you see the interview?
No.
He was just with SVP last night, and then they're like, "What are you gonna say to those who don't have say you guys don't have enough playoff experience for that next hurdle?" And he's like, "Screw it."
Hell yeah. Talk your talk, Wemby. Let's go.
I love it, man. Wemby's a character. Okay, dude, I think that's pretty good macros. Other than maybe we could hit on the Trey Murphy for a second. Are you playing like the other guys up a little bit, because it is pace up spot for the Pelicans going against Portland there? Portland running pretty tight. Are you playing Trey Murphy as in or out? It is first night of a back-to-back for them, and the push-pull dynamic then of pushing up Zion and pushing up DeJounte Murray then. How are you playing the Trey Murphy situation?
I've been drafting a lot of Trey Murphy. I just think at his ADP, one of the better picks there. he falls quite a bit. So I'm taking the shots on Trey Murphy. It's been a few games, obviously. I'm sure they want to be careful with him, but just hoping that if he's out, we get the out tag sooner than later. And if he's in, great. I've got some pretty sick value on Trey Murphy because the spot's pretty fun if he does end up suiting out.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I respect it for sure. The one thing I would say is that DeJounte Murray basically just doesn't play back-to-backs anymore. So they could do the staggered stuff where like he plays tonight, Trey plays tomorrow. Trey's been listed with this Q tag 4 straight times. Maybe now he's pushing towards playing and then they do it tomorrow instead of tonight. But that would only be, that would kind of be like my only like hole in the thesis, but it's just bro science.
Yeah. I mean, that would make sense. That would make sense. So, I have a lot of Trey Murphy right now, but I've only done like 20 drafts.
Okay, cool. Back-to-backs tonight. The Warriors played last night. Warriors get beat up pretty good by San Antonio last night there. I can't remember what the total was. 120 something to 110 something. And then San Antonio, who takes care of business yesterday, now goes to the Clippers this evening. Nationally televised games tonight are Prime Video, and the Prime Video games are the T-Wolves at Detroit and the Lakers at OKC. So both of like kind of like the earlier window are the nationally televised games. And then the front end of back-to-backs, that aforementioned Pelicans team. And then we have the Hornets on a front end. We have the T-Wolves on a front end as well. Does that change anything in your mind about Anthony Edwards?
Yeah, a little bit. Who do they play tomorrow?
They play the 76ers, the surging 76ers who only score 150 points a game now.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely, it makes me less confident for sure.
Okay. All right, dude. Front end of the back-to-back there for these T-Wolves is 224.5 total, 3.5 by way of the Pistons. Pistons at home here. Pistons still without Cade Cunningham, still without Beef Stew. Marcus Sasser has a Q tag after missing the second night of a back-to-back last time out. We know that has a direct effect on Dennis Jenkins' second unit role and second unit minutes there. And then on the other side, Anthony Edwards has the Q tag here. Left knee, some word I can't pronounce, pain syndrome, illness. So I don't know what's going on there. That's a interesting designation for Anthony Edwards. And then Jaden McDaniels has the out tag here. So which side of this ball game you want to start on there, Nez?
Let's start with the Pistons.
All right. Pistons it is. Draftable players in this one, primarily Dennis Jenkins and Jalen Duren goes at the back end of the first round. And then you have kind of like, hey, do you want to play auxiliary guys late here? We did see a really watered down iteration of Detroit on the second night of the back-to-back that saw like Kevin Huerter in the starting lineup. It saw Javonte Green play big minutes, that sort of deal, but probably not in play for us today. What do you like and or dislike about the Pistons today?
I mean, Duren, I think, is like, a fine pick at ADP. I'm not getting like too far ahead of him there, but I mean, at the 1-2 turn, I'm not passing on him. I'm, pretty much cornerstone of those teams. And then, playing the Dennis Jenkins minutes, man, they've been really strong. He's been very solid. I feel like the ADP is pretty fair for him, maybe a little bit, maybe a tad high, but I think he's a pretty good pick against the T-Wolves here. Maybe some scroll down to Sar Thompson. I haven't really like done it, but he's certainly viable. But I mean, dude, Pistons are favored here, so kind of interesting. Yeah,
I mean, maybe just speaking to the lack of bodies on the other side and their scaredness, if that's a word, of what Ant is going to provide this evening. But man, the Dennis stuff looks like the role is just so strong. The right tails haven't been there in a big way now that the league has kind of like oh, this is who this guy is. Okay, we're going to put a primary on-ball defender against him. Whereas we got some of those 45s and 60s earlier in the season. I think we got a 58 burger out of him on one of those slates where he was like 0% owned and nobody knew who he was. And now everybody's like, oh, this guy's a player now. So he's just kind of like a mean projection in the middle there. I will say Sasser coming back in, if he does come back in, is, not amazing for him just because we've seen a little bit of the push-pull with the minutes there. But yeah, any love for Asar and Tobias? Have you drafted them yet?
I haven't.
Okay. I think Asar's kind of nice, man. Asar's minutes have been like pretty solid here. We did see that minute ceiling of 37 there in a tight competitive game against Atlanta. If tonight's a tight competitive game where Ant plays a lot on the other side and you need the on ball, I think you could do worse than Asar in the last round.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like there's a ton of options in the sixth, so he's definitely one of them.
Yeah, and like yesterday when we were looking at the sixth round, we were looking at all this value that could pop. Like Utah guys could find big minutes. The Bulls guys could find big minutes because the rotation was so narrow and Giddey was going to be ruled out. The Bucks could find big minutes once we saw the injury report. Today's sixth round isn't like, hey, we're finding big minute right tail guys. Like we're finding role player guys today in the last round, and you need guys that could score. We're looking for guys who can go from like 25 minutes to 30 minutes. Or we're not looking for dudes who could go from like 15 to 40 like we were yesterday.
Yeah, no, not from what I can see.
Yeah. Let's talk about the T-Wolves side here. This feels a little bit more like a playoff dynamic slate there. Are you in on Julius Randle at ADP, or is that just a hedge against like the Edwards not playing?
No, I'm not really doing a lot of Randle at the moment.
Are you doing Edwards above Randle then?
Yeah.
I respect that.
I've got a lot of Ant Edwards. I've got him probably like rank 11 right now.
Okay. Yeah, it works for me, dude. The IO stuff will be really interesting because we just saw him return from injury and then have that massive 60 burger. Just amazing to see a ceiling like that from him. Obviously a much tougher matchup here with team defense and maybe some of the SR treatment for IO here, but yeah, with thoughts on the IO one, is this just a hedge ADP off of if Ant doesn't play, this is where he belongs?
I think so. I mean, yeah. I'm not touching this ADP.
Yeah.
Like shout out to IO, but yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah, I fully agree with you, man. Like this is where Randle should be going if Edwards plays, not where IO should be going if Edwards plays,
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah, that's got to be one of the worst ones on the board there. Would Rudy Gobert be your next Timberwolf that you want to get to, or do you like somebody else?
No, it's Rudy.
Yeah, probably got to match size with Duren there, and yeah. And then what else can we get to here, man? Naz still has the shoulder thing. Can you scroll to it? Dante can flame throw at times, but not a ton recently. That last time they played Detroit was pretty solid, but anything else that you want to get to here?
No, I don't think there's much ceiling here.
Okay, cool. And then, we just contractually obligated to mention if Ant Edwards does not play this evening, the 23 minutes of Bones Highland in the last round, you could do worse. Yes. Next game up there, Nez. We got Suns and Hornets, man. We saw Jalen Green's minutes kind of get cut, something I talked about with the Dylan Brooks returning, that the role could be a little bit less on the offensive end there. Dylan Brooks did not play full, but definitely had an impact on the defensive end against Paulo because Paulo had another one of his worst games of the season there in that matchup last time out. So we got Suns and Hornets with a 225.5 here, 5.5 toward the Hornets side. No Amir Coffey, no Haywood Highsmith, but maybe return of the revenge game, Big Mark Dub. Who knows? Ooh. First time listed with a questionable tag in a long time there. I can't imagine it's more than like 16 to 18 minutes just knowing Mark Dub and knowing the history. But me thinks he kind of wants a little bit of this smoke. I think he kind of wants a little bit of this, hey, Musa, remember me kind of moment there. And then on the Hornets side, super clean, man. Just G Leaguers listed out, and then PJ Hall listed out there. So how are you treating this one this evening, Nez, and which side would you like to start on?
I'm going to start Suns because I think it's pretty easy.
Okay.
I'm just doing, Booker and a little bit of Jalen Green.
Mm-hmm.
Not a fun little box score there. against the Magic, but we'll see how he does tonight. I'm mixing him in here and there in the 6, not every time. But this should be a pretty fun game, pretty competitive game. Rematch of the Dog Bowl here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not doing any Mark Dub. Not drafting Mark Dub, but him returning against his former team would be pretty cool.
It would be cool. Yeah, I tried to erase that game from my memory.
I'm sure you are.
Yeah, just to speak on the Jalen Green stuff, just interesting. This last time out, they do lose this game against the Magic, but third quarter comes around and like this whole stint is just gone. Usman Dang fouls out early. Usman Dang. Uso Hidara fouls out early in this one. And then Dylan Brooks plays all the way to the buzzer, but then fouls out kind of thing. And he kind of just took all that back end stint away from Jalen Green effectively. And they went to like this Royce plus Grayson. Yeah, I don't know, man. It a weird game because everyone was in foul trouble. I think Dink said it on their program that it was like the most fouls in the first half of an NBA game this season. And it was just like, it was just slow and ugly and choppy, which is, not really Jalen Green's music, but it's interesting that he only had one foul. All these guys were playing with all these fouls. It was like a tough physical game. And then Jalen just like doesn't play at all and doesn't close. But I don't know, even when he was still out there, the usage is high. Maybe it was just like a, hey, the shot's not falling kind of thing. Like just miss three, miss field goal, like this kind of thing, which is just off nights of Jalen. It's like easy to just pull the ripcord. But yeah, I don't really know why the box score was like that.
Yeah, I don't know either. Very weird, but I can't imagine he's just not going to play the fourth quarter like ever again. I don't think that's what's happening here. Just the way that game went.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good synopsis there. We could see Dylan Brooks get a little bit of a tick up tonight. You could see Grayson Allen, man, like just role players that have ceilings that play big time minutes. Like, not the best catch and shoot in the world against the Hornets, but like Grayson Allen mattering in the 6th round today wouldn't be like surprising at all. So feels like a deep enough feels like a good enough slate to have a deep role player scroll like that where he could play 30, knock some threes kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't hate it. If he's playing 30, like he's in consideration.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Hornets side here because Melo, we love playing him on non-back-to-back situations there, and this is not one of them because they play tomorrow against the Pacers, although it is the Pacers and the Pacers at home. So just be careful with the Melo minutes. That being said, probably playing him pretty high up in my rankings today. And then we kind of have this, we have no idea who it's going to be as the next option other than Brandon Miller. But Brandon Miller, man, we haven't really seen ceiling in a minute. It's just kind of like these middling projections for him. So how are you treating the rest of the team?
I think they're kind of hard to get to outside of Melo. Mm-hmm. Miles Bridges is 6th round viable in my opinion, just because he plays a lot of minutes. But yeah, his ceiling has not really been there. Konn's ceiling hasn't really been there. Like I would take some Konn as well here. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's just weird, man. None of these guys have been like killing it for fantasy. So they don't ever really seem like awesome plays. Like,
yeah, Bridges had the nice night last time out against the Nets, but it's on the back of like 5 stocks against an inexperienced handling team. It's not like he did anything different other than just adding 5 stocks, right?
Right. Like It's just the way that happened. Just a little lucky. He's not been someone that we typically go to, but it's a 6-game slate, man. He's in consideration at that ownership, in my opinion.
Yeah, so is Musa for me, like just rock solid on the glass. If there's no Mark Dub on the other side, I mean, even if there's a Mark Dub on the other side, it's a pretty good spot for Musa. So I'm good with that. Any love for Kobe White, who can just flame throw off the bench?
No, I don't know. I don't see how that works out.
All right, sounds good to me. Let's keep pushing here. Lakers and Thunder, my eyes will be on this game this evening for sure. 232.5 here is the second highest total on the slate, but let's be fair, all three of these totals are effectively the same. And 9 by way of the Thunder in this one. We are nothing significant other than Marcus Smart out here for the Lakers side, and Alex Caruso with a questionable tag with the illness on the other side, which just 18 minutes of good Alex Caruso defense. That's not nothing to sneeze at, but it's not really impactful for our game here. Let's talk about the Thunder side there, dude. We got SGA kind of just like planted in at that 3-hole. And then it's kind of like the auxiliary options. I don't know, man. J-Dub's name kind of stood out to me a little bit that, maybe he gets ramped up in a competitive game environment here, and 27 on a short slate looks like a pretty fine ADP for him. But yeah, I don't know. Do you feel similarly, or am I reaching?
No, I like J-Dub today a lot. Like pretty late ADP. I mean, again, not sure about the ceiling, but I think competitive J-Dub, I think is a lot of fun at that ADP. So I would definitely play it and see what happens. I think, I think he's one of the more safe picks in that range. Like minutes wise, I think it should be pretty good for J-Dub here.
Sweet, yeah, I like that. Thoughts on Chet there at the front end?
Yeah, I think Chet's a fine ADP as well. Like I like Chet in these competitive games. It doesn't necessarily, the guys around him, I don't think he's like head and shoulders over in terms of projection, but I do think that he's a good pick to mix in. Like I feel pretty solid about his minutes and his usage today against the Lakers. Like this is when I really like to play the Thunder, is whenever they're in competitive games.
Yeah, good shouts there. Do you like Chet more than there's like kind of like this tier? Klingon pushes up a little bit more than this in the actual rooms, but there is this tier of kind of like Reeves, Klingon, Chet, Garland, Zion, Io, and DeJounte. Do you like the Pels guys more than Chet? Do you like Garland more than Chet?
I think I like Garland more than Chet, but I think it's pretty damn close.
Yeah.
I like Klingon more as well.
Yeah. What about the Pels guys?
More than Chet? Not. I don't think so. No, I think they're pretty similar, and on any given slate, on a slate where they're playing like the Nets, I'd probably prefer the Pels. When the Thunder are playing the Nets, I mean, but competitive game, I like Chet.
Okay. And then anybody else to get to on OKC? Do you like Hartenstein in the last round, who, in and out of the lineup and kind of soft capped at these 24s, but we know he could do enough from a rate standpoint at times, especially on the shorter slates. Like he's not a full right tail guy, but like he's a dude who can, good matchup, could smash for a little bit. AJ Mitchell kind of in that same vein. Hasn't been starting as much recently, but if he comes off the bench and runs that second unit, like these 25s, pretty encouraging.
Yeah, I haven't gotten here.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe AJ, but yeah, I haven't gotten there.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good to me. Jay Will, we just don't play when both the bigs are in. Caruso, we never play until the postseason, basically.
Right.
All right. That seems pretty good. And then Lakers side of things here, we kind of had the Luka versus Wemby conversation. I could see it both ways. I think Wemby at 1 is probably the move today. Luka at 2. Do you have a lean between who do you like more in LeBron or Austin Reeves?
I think I prefer Bron.
Okay.
But not with like a ton of confidence.
Sure.
These guys have been pretty similar, but against the Thunder here, I'll take Bron. Just see what happens. Big game here. I could see him wanting to do a little bit more.
Yeah, I respect that, man. Big game Bronny here on the nationally televised Prime Video versus the best team in the league. Like, let's see what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think low-key Reeves might open up, and maybe this is not relevant, but it might open up a couple possessions of handling and a couple extra shots, in particular threes for him. in the absence of Marcus Smart. That's a little bit just bro science-y because some of that might just go to Jake LaRavia being in like the first unit or like Luke Kennard coming off the bench and putting up some threes. But it was just one thought that I had. But I think I agree with you today that like they're going to project so similarly that I think I'll just play the ADP game here.
I think so.
Yeah. Anybody else for you today, like Ayton, Jackson Hayes as backup 5, who's been smashing recently, or Jake LaRavia potentially joining this first unit? Is that something you'd be interested in?
No, not really. But Hayes has been playing. He has some good box scores in there. That's for sure.
It's not the matchup for it, but like, look at these. Like, I just want to bring it to people's attention. 33 fantasy points, 46, 35, 33. Like, Ayton, where you're ceiling at, dog? Where's the Ayton ceiling at, dog? Like, this is just, I don't know, man. Is Jackson Hayes a better fantasy basketball asset than Ayton right now?
People are asking.
People are talking. Yeah. All right, dude. 2 more games on the I guess 3 more games on the docket here. We got Cavs and Warriors up next. They're 10 by way of the Cavs here. This is 228.5. Warriors had like a laundry list of injuries on their injury report yesterday. They have not yet filed. Let me get the most recent one today. They have not yet filed. Cavs have listed outs on the G Leaguers, and then Dean Wade and Jalen Tyson are still out there. We will take a look at last night. Sorry, excuse me. I'm still struggling here. We will take a look at last night's rotation for the Warriors because Melton did not play basketball last night. Kristaps Porzingis did not play basketball last night. Al Horford did not play basketball last night. Like, there's all these little wrinkles that could come in to affect the rotation this evening. Let's just start. Maybe we'll get an injury report here in 5. We might get it in 5 minutes. So let's just do the Cavs side first, and then we'll talk about the Warriors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cavs here. Good.
Yeah, I was just about to say that the Cavs here on this West Coast swing, and they just got, the big 4 in the lineup here, and Jared Allen is not free in the last round because he's going quite a bit, but he's come back, played 18 minutes, took the night off, and then played 18 again there. So we talk about the impact on Jared Allen, on Mobley, and just kind of like the rate stuff. He looks like a good late round click to me there, but let's talk through kind of everybody else.
Okay. Yeah, we got Mitchell flipping Harden again. These guys, terrible box scores against the Lakers. My God. But a little bit of a bounce back spot here against Golden State. I'm playing it by ADP, I guess, going Mitchell over Harden. But I think if you just want to be different and, oppo the field, you could decide to get twice over on Harden instead of Donovan Mitchell. Like, I'm sorry, I can't really tell you which one's going to outscore the other today. Like they're so similar. I don't know. Looking at it a little bit closer, maybe you just play Harden. Get a little different. Maybe you get more dimes for him. Maybe that's just the play against Golden State here. And then these guys go. It's like the Rockets, man. They go back to back to back.
Yeah.
In ADP. Mobley I think is a fine pick. Like, I don't have really anybody ahead of Mobley in ADP, so I've got him right at ADP.
Okay.
It just feels okay. I don't know. I'm not a Mobley guy.
Yeah, me neither, especially when Jared Allen's back. Do you like the idea of pulling Donovan Clingan over Mobley today?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
Clingan kind of like on a down swing right now in terms of his results. I'm sure the big fella is just tired, man. It looks like he's exhausted every game. But I'm sure, things catching up to him a little bit here, man. He played big minutes for a big guy. Too many for my liking. But Clingan against the Pelicans, man, that's as great of a spot as you'll get, even though he just put up 6-5-1 against the Wizards, but he got into foul trouble.
Mm-hmm.
6-17 against the Mavericks. Like, terrible game against Clippers. I don't know, man. I'm willing to bet on the Klingon bounce back.
Yeah, me too. I think I like Klingon more than Mobley tonight, and that'll be a pivotal kind of like crux in ADP right there.
For sure. Mobley. I'm just not a Mobley guy, like I said, man.
Yeah. Okay, now we're gonna have the difficult conversation about the Warriors. Nothing submitted just yet. I'll bring up the ADPs here, and then I'll bring up the time machine because Melton did not play last night. I told everybody that Pods was the worst ADP on the board. What did he end up doing? 17 minutes, 27 fantasy points. Never wrong, just early. Santos doesn't wind up playing last night. Gary Payton doesn't wind up playing last night. Zinger doesn't play last night, and now everybody's assuming he will just play tonight. Where's Nate at? Nate Williams, aka Jonathan Williams. He comes out of nowhere and plays 46 minutes wire to wire. He played 11 the night before. He's in no rotation prior to that, and then plays 46. Like, just Steve Kerr, man. I have no idea with this guy at times, but how you playing this one, man? Because there could be some, just because it's a 6-game slate, there could be some interesting kind of like leverage components in the last round if we get Santos, Melton in tonight to just play off of, everybody playing Zinger and Pods.
Yeah, I mean, I think Guy is a pretty decent late 6th-round pick. He always projects well, but like if they're going to be super full, I don't like anybody here other than Kristaps, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if they're going to be full as hell, I'm sorry, I don't like anybody here.
If they're gonna be like full here, and I mean I think we're gonna get like someone on the back-to-back getting a rest or someone getting hit with a Q and then somebody flipping somebody else. That's kind of the vibe. The reason I laid it out this way is because like I think Santos and Melton will project very similarly to like Pods, for instance, and it's like you're going to get 60% discount on ownership. So playing Santos instead of Pods in that ADP spot, why not?
Okay.
Like that's how I just kind of treat it, where it's like, all right, why not?
Yeah, Pods, I don't have Pods ranked.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess the nice thing you could say about Pods is like he only played 17 minutes last night, and I don't fully know why, to be honest, other than like quiet quitting out loud and they just waved the white flag so early because it was a back-to-back. But I'm in lockstep with you, dude. I don't know. Maybe they thought the second night was a more winnable game than the Spurs game was, but like, look at this shit, man. Like, Pods just gets ripcord right here. Green gets ripcord right here, and they basically wave the white flag from the third quarter onward.
Yeah, that's what the Spurs will do.
Yeah.
They'll beat you in a submission. I'm going to use the bathroom real quick before we keep going.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, Pat Spencer plays a bunch here. Leon's plays a bunch. Yeah, this is crazy, man. You just get all these garbage time minutes so early, and they just ran pretty tight too. But now we're gonna take like 5 of these guys out or 4 of these guys out on the back-to-back, and we're gonna put like Guy Santos back in. We're gonna put Melton back in, etc. So just a classic Steve Kerr-esque bullshit is what I'm looking at. But I don't know, man. Warriors are 10-point dogs on their home floor. Kind of a middling total, but all the totals are pretty close today. I'd play a little bit of Santos in the last round. I'd mix and match, but I wouldn't want to be crazy overweight on Pods. I'd be fine taking Zinger at ADP. I'm good with that. As people are hitting in the chat here, Goods is saying Zinger's popping in the hashtag models. He's always popping, man. Yeah, for sure. When's Vinny P finally getting a homer? I don't know, man. I don't know. Soon, I hope. He's my guy. Evan's asking, yeah, maybe we'll hit on the abbreviated baseball. We're gonna do football today, but we'll do maybe a quick talk. It's really hard to talk about a 2-game slate because look at last night's like after dark slate. we would have come on here. We would have said like, oh, Yamamoto's SP1 and Dodgers lineup and blah, blah, blah. But it's like the answer to the test is you could fucking play anyone and just play contrarian stuff different than everybody else kind of thing. All right. Let's keep pushing here, Nez. We got Pels and Blazers here, and we got Carlo Makovic just ruled out right now, so that'll help clear some things up in the front court. Blazers as 6.5-point favorites at 233. Blazers are running hella tight right now, and they are playing to win because they want to do their best to get out of that play-in series there. No Jeremy Grant this evening, no Vic Krejci, no Shaedon Sharpe. Doubtful tags on the G Leaguers as well. And then obviously the usual suspects like Dame Lillard, etc. And then the Pelicans had a Q tag on Carlo Makovic, and now he is ruled out. And then Bryce McGowan's is out. And then Trey Murphy has that big looming Q tag in the late window of swaps here for us. So let's start with the Blazers first. I mean, we just love Denny Avdia around here. We love what he does from a rates perspective. We love in a pace-up matchup here with a good total at home when a team is going to run tight and try and win. Denny Avdia feels like an absolute smash. And then what else are we doing after that?
Yeah, after that, you got Klingon, who, projects really well, but box scores have been awful. I don't think it'd be crazy if you wanted to, not be a part of the Klingon pull-up party.
Okay.
Because I like I said, like you watch him play and he kind of looks like this every night, even when he's doing well, but he looks gassed, man. Like he just is so tired. But I've been calling the Pelicans a great spot all year, but like maybe the Pelicans aren't actually, like I feel like lately they haven't actually been quite as fantasy friendly. So I don't know, man. I'm still gonna probably pull up Klingon, but maybe not as aggressive as our projection lords would suggest.
All right. Respect the take, dude. He obviously tough games the last 2 times out, but 28 minutes. That 20 against Washington there. Time Lord's been out for both of those games. Not out. He's been playing for both of those games too. So we talk about the propensity of like just his 18 minutes impacting him. Jrue Holiday had a massive game last time out. Scoot Henderson drew into the starting lineup. Anything for us to get to there this evening?
I think Scoot's draftable. What do you think? Can you talk me out of it? Like,
no, I love Scoot.
Yeah,
I think Scoot's a bucket when he wants to be a bucket, and I think it's encouraging that he's part of that first unit. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing when he plays off the bench and kind of gets a little bit more of the handling, because Denny just soaks so much usage in that first unit, and then in kind of like, not must-win territory for them or anything like that, but like they're kind of coming down to the stretch of like, do we really want to be the 10, or are we going to push to like get out of this and get higher up so we have like a home court advantage or something like that? With that in mind, like they're really pushing like the Jrue stuff as well. So I think it makes Scoot look a little bit worse at times when, Jrue's doing so much, but there's nothing to say that like, hey, Scoot can't just get like 10 drives tonight or something like that out of nowhere. Like, like he's just, he's that archetype of player.
Yeah. I'm with you, man. I think he kind of makes a little bit of sense here. But other than that, like Kamara, I don't draft Kamara, but I mean, shout out to him though. He's playing pretty well for Tamani Kamara.
Yeah, he's such a floor, like mean projection guy. Like shout out to Gumby for winning the dog bowl with fucking 20 Tamani Kamara points, because if I'd just been like, hey, no roars, not floors, or floors, not roars, and taken him, I would have had the same fate too, so it's just like, he's not the guy that's going to win you a slate that has like 13,000 entries. But by the way, when he has these 3 or 4 stock games and he knocks down 3 or 4 triples, like he has usable scores, right? So I don't know. With no Vic Krejci and no Jeremy Grant, like his usage definitely spikes and his shot opportunities definitely spike. So there's something there, but it's not like the profile of a dude who I want to get to in the last round, but I wouldn't fault you for getting to it today.
Yep, that's exactly how I feel.
Any love for like a Time Lord scroll, or is that a bridge too far today?
I thought about it.
Uh-huh.
Probably too far.
Yeah. Just a good rates guy. And then, he has the same matchup as Klingon does. So if Klingon gets 2 quick ones, there's not much behind him unless you want to play City at the 5. And to be fair, they could play City at the 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just canceled my subscription after the Gummy shout out. To be fair, it was kind of derogatory.
It was. It absolutely was.
Let's talk about Pels, dude. We obviously had the Trey Murphy conversation there. There's going to be a push-pull dynamic in the projection here where both Zion and DeJounte will push up. I am kind of just evergreen DeJounte over Zion. I like the narrative in the chat here from Station 91 that like Pacific Northwest game here, grew up in Seattle, went to UW. Like he's going to have the hometown people in the building in Portland. I like that for DeJounte tonight. I like Narrative Street with DeJounte. I always play DeJounte over Zion in like a spot where Trey's handling and shot making could be off of the floor. So like, yeah, don't tempt me with a good time. I think it's DeJounte Murray night a little bit here.
Yeah, I like DeJounte a lot, man. ADP feels right. Good spot. Like, I was hoping you weren't going to talk me out of it. So
talk you off a good UW boy, no chance.
I know. I don't know what I was expecting, but I was sort of nervous. I was like, man, is he going to be on board? But you are.
I mean, we could talk about like Carmel Alcatraz or something like that on the other side, but nah.
No.
Yeah, Drew playing on ball. He's not the same guy he was 15 years ago. The nice thing I could say about Trey, dude, is like obviously he's going to out-project where he's going in drafts here. And you usually, not every time because he sometimes gets drafted, but you usually will have a free swap to Sadiq Bey, who would really kind of boost up a little bit in projection if Trey can't go. So the Trey pick is pretty safe because you have Sadiq as a swap option. You'll be swapping into ownership, but I think it'll become a better play. So it kind of feels okay to do that this evening.
Yeah. I mean, that was kind of the insurance policy I was taking.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought it made sense.
Anybody else that you would like to get to this evening? Like, I don't know, man, when you're looking at this matchup and you're looking at like who would bang bodies with like Klingon and start at the 5, like it kind of seems like you'd need some Yves Misi or some DeAndre Jordan tonight or something. Like you could see a little funky, like they're starting somebody else at the 5 than usual tonight. If Trey Murphy can't go, like whose music is that? I think they might turn to Yves Misi in the starting lineup and kind of play Zion at the 4, that sort of thing. They've been doing this like Herb Jones 3/4/ sometimes guards a 5. Like you need size for Klingon, man. And I don't think Zion at the 5 is the answer tonight. So I could see, some combination of Yves Misi, DeAndre Jordan, Evan Looney, like something like this where they play some of these bigger bodies tonight.
So Yves Misi just played 20 or 31 minutes against the Rockets. Kind of a big matchup there-ish.
Yeah, definitely a big lineup.
Yeah. Didn't play much against Detroit, but yeah. I mean, I don't think you can necessarily draft Yves, but
no, I don't think it's a draftable spot. I'm just thinking more that like it takes my interest level in Zion down a bit, and it takes my interest level in like right tail outcome queen in the last round, like off the board kind of thing.
Got it. Yeah, for sure.
All right, cool. I think it's just 4 draftable pieces for us on the Pels there. And now the late night hammer to end it all. Nezzy takes. We got Spurs. We got Clippers. Spurs have still not filed on the second night of the back-to-back. I will be the first to remind everybody, though, that De'Aaron Fox headed to the locker room last night for like a brief stint and then came back. He also hasn't been playing as well recently. His minutes have also been down a little bit. I don't know. It wouldn't be the strangest thing in the world if we didn't see De'Aaron Fox tonight. I know he returned to the game last night. We could take a look at that for a second, but just putting that on people's radars. I did not actually see the injury. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that brings like a little bit of like Dylan Harper into our lives or Keldon Johnson's 25 minutes or something like that. I don't know. We'll talk about it, but it's probably just Wemby and Castle here and maybe a sprinkle of Fox for us. But 231, 3.5 by way of the Spurs. No injury report on the Spurs side just yet. And then on the Clippers side, they are still depleted at the 5 position because YKN, Niederhauser, he is out right now, and so is Isaiah Jackson. So with no Yannick and no Isaiah Jackson, man, the Brook Lopez box scores have been kind of nice. I talked about it last show we did together. I don't know, maybe it's more draftable on a 6-game slate, but there is a propensity to get into foul trouble against Wemby here. So let's talk about the Clippers first, because I think there's probably 3.5 draftable ones tonight.
Yeah. Obviously Kawhi up there. I have a lot of Garland, but I'm probably going to like pump the brakes on that. Just the ranking was just very bullish. Yeah, man, your guy, Brook Lopez, shouted him out a couple days ago when we were doing a show. I mean, what can you say about these box scores, man? What can you say? I mean, is he in play tonight or what?
It's turn back the clock, Brolo time, man. You want to play a stretch 5 against Wemby? Let's go. Let's see what happens here. Obviously, Wemby's like a really tough matchup, and this is more for the defensive assignment. I think I'd rather play Benny Math tonight, like just in a vacuum. But like, man, he's gonna have to be out there because I don't know who else you throw on Wemby. I don't know who else you switch off of onto Wemby. I don't know. Maybe a little John Collins mixes into that. I don't know. Yeah, but we could see a lot of Wemby tonight, dude. So who knows if Luke Cornett's back this evening? He missed last night. Not that it really matters on the other side, but like just kind of thinking through some of these 5 matchups. But dude, I think he might have to play like a decent amount here. And the Clippers are in like, hey, we're trying to win basketball games right now mode. So
yeah, I mean, I just don't know what's going to change for the usage tonight for Brook Lopez other than having less success against Wemby. But like, shoot, man, 30-some minutes of Brook Lopez, getting some stocks, hitting some threes, grabbing some boards.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. Like I kind of like nothing you look at numbers wise for today as far as projections or props will tell you to go get Brook Lopez. But I don't know. I kind of think he's worth a couple picks here and there.
Right. Yeah. Like let me share some names with you, dude. Like Derek Jones, good on-ball defender, but probably not big enough to guard Wemby. John Collins, okay defender, but not big enough for Wemby. And then this is the bench: Benny Math, Chris Dunn, Jordan Miller, Batum, Kobe Sanders, Ty Washington, Cam Christie if they're available. Like, dude, they don't have anybody to match size with him. So as long as he stays out of foul trouble and this game stays like somewhat competitive, like Brook Lopez could play 33 minutes tonight, 32 minutes, and they need it.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I like it, man. I don't know.
All right. Any love for John Collins in that same vein? Any love for Benny Math as a scroll down despite the awful recent outing against Portland?
John Collins just played a bunch of minutes, right?
Yep. 31, 35.
That intrigues me.
Yeah. 6-game slate. Dude, I'm good. I'm good to mix and match. I know the Spurs are a really good defensive team. I know Wemby's going to meet people at the rim. I understand all that. Like, it's just the Clippers are trying to play out of this play-in bracket. Well, they can't get out. Let me be clearer than that.
They can't.
They're trying to. It's them plus the Blazers who are battling to not play that last game against the Warriors, basically, because the Warriors can't really catch anybody here. Warriors can't really catch anybody, right? You know, Blazers and Clippers are playing like they're the same in the wins column. They're playing to either catch the Suns or at least best one another to go and play the Suns. So you only have to win one game to get into the playoffs. And then the Suns are trying to play their way out, kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. These games are really important for a couple of these teams today. And that's kind of why I led the day with it, where it was like, we could see some really condensing on like some of these teams that have big time things to play for right now. And the Clippers being one of them, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No exception.
Like Clippers losing that head to head against Portland was like a 2-game swing. And then you could see without garbage time, like Ty Washington gets in, Cam Christie and Kobe Sanders gets in because of garbage time. Batum just gets like one little stint in the middle. So like effectively they played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They basically played 7 the majority of the game. Jordan Miller had a early front stretch stint, and then they just go Jordan Miller for Derek Jones, where they went offense over defense for closing purposes, and then they stayed super tight with everybody else. Like, they're going to treat tonight like a playoff game, and if you want to play any starter on their team, or you want to play Benny Math gets hot off the bench and they run with it tonight, and he just had an off game last time, like, man, this feels fine. This feels fine, even though it's an awful spot against the Spurs defense.
Yeah, I think that these, like everything you just said, man, like I think that John Collins, Brook Lopez, like even Benny Math, like these guys, I think like make sense. Like I could totally see them playing full. The only thing that would really go wrong, I think, is if they just get murked by the Spurs.
Yeah,
which could happen. But surprisingly, only 3.5 point spread here.
Yeah, Windhurst's up on the 3.5 there. Second night of a back-to-back. Maybe Fox doesn't play after leaving or whatever there. Maybe they just run a little bit deeper in their rotation as they're prone to do. But yeah, a good segue to talking about the Spurs side, because the Stephen Castle minutes have been beautiful. Wemby's the 1-0-1 today. You could debate about the Luka stuff, but like the Stephen Castle, like 34s, 32s, big box scores to follow. Like the potential assists are off the chart right now. Like he's just taking on way bigger handling role. And then they're doing like Fox off ball, and like Fox and Vassell are like not that far apart right now in terms of just like, hey, who's going to knock an off ball shot? And you're seeing like Fox put up these like 26 fantasy point games. You're seeing Vassell do basically the same thing, but has a little bit more of the auxiliary steal stuff on the back end. Yeah, 4 guys to draft here. Maybe you could get into like Dylan Harper if Fox missed, or maybe you could get into Julian Champagnie if Fox misses, something like that. But yeah, thoughts on this?
Yeah, I love Castle today. Gonna have a ton of Castle. Fox, I think, is good at ADP, man. I don't know. Like if you get a swap, whatever, we'll probably find out sooner than later. If he's out and you have Fox swaps, I think Harper is probably my favorite swap there. I think he would be a really, really fun play. Man, I wonder if they give him more minutes in the postseason, or they just continue to do this like deep rotation thing, because he would be like very, 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 very fun if all of a sudden he's like getting 30 minutes.
Yeah, I'm torn, man. I think you kind of like ride with what's been working for you to get there, but like, yeah, I think he would just kind of be like, him and Keldon Johnson would be like some combination of first up, given what the matchup is, right? They come off the bench, has like a staggered unit when they bring in like Keldon plus him plus a backup big or Harrison Barnes, something like that. Like, because this team isn't running like 11 deep like they used to. They're running like 9. They're running like 10 in competitive games. So like, I think that's bullish enough to draft him in the dance. But I don't think he's going to like, I don't think we're going to see a situation where it's like he's usurping Fox or something like that. And they're just like, hey, our team's better with Dylan Harper starting,
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Wemby, Castle, and then, a sprinkle of Fox, a swap to Harper if Fox doesn't go, and then Julian Champagnie would probably be like the start and play 30 guy.
Right. Yeah, I'm not really drafting a whole lot of these guys.
Yeah, fair enough, man. Second night of a back-to-back, like they're the hottest team in basketball, but like second night of a back-to-back is like, we don't have an injury report. We don't really know what's going down. And it just funnels through Wemby so much that it's like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking about, let's rip a draft here.
Okay.
I was thinking about last night. I just wanted to look at the Spurs real quick. Wemby's first stint, 46 usage, 45, 22, 53, 12 and a bit. So he defers when he comes out of the break for a little bit. And then he goes, Mama, it's closing time, 33 and 64. Like, it's just like,
Jesus,
dude, like he's a 40% usage player right now chasing MVP, and he's a freak. Like, he's just,
you think he gets
crazy.
it?
It's crazy, man. I don't think so. I think it's like too little too late. And Luka's been playing like too good, which cannibalizes his like, well, if we're not going to pick SGA, we can't determine between these two even anyways. So SGA just wins kind of thing. People also lose sight of the fact that like the Spurs, I mean, Wemby's time will come, right? But like we're talking like wire to wire backup or last year's champions going wire to wire, leading the Western Conference, missing their second best player for the entire year, and them playing with like, I don't know, man. Like we give the Thunder a lot of credit for like how good they are, but like I don't know. If you just look at like name value on that roster, the average voter is not going to be like, wait, he's doing this with AJ Mitchell and Hartenstein? Like, wait a second. Like, I think SGA gets the benefit of the doubt for a second year in a row.
Yeah. If I had to vote, I'd vote for Luka.
You'd vote for Luka? Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of stunned at how well the Lakers have played this year. I can't believe they're 50 and 26.
Right. Yeah.
I don't feel like they should be 50 and 26.
Back-to-back 50-win seasons for JJ Redick since taking over. Wild.
He's good, man. I think he's good. I don't know. It's really tough to command that locker room and get respect of your teammates or of your players, and especially when LeBron's there. But
yeah.
I think he does a pretty good job at it. He doesn't seem like he takes any shit. Yeah, shout out JJ.
Yeah, I like JJ. He's always been so well spoken too.
Keeps it real.
Yeah. Our guy Rye coming through with the Run Good Badge Bros membership. He goes, he hasn't cashed in on the Run Good yet, so got to throw another one out there. Appreciate you, my friend. Yeah. This is the thesis. This is the thesis.
One-on-one. Let's go.
Yeah, let's take Wemby at 1 here. We're kind of locked in at the Wemby decision here.
Yeah.
There's no concern that a Q tag comes down the pipeline for Wemby?
Maybe. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's just like he has such a better matchup than Luka.
Yeah. True.
Dude, what's been grinding my gears lately? I can't find a professional out here to nobody's calling me back for my inquiries about hey, can you put an Ethernet port in a room in my house? I've called 4 different low voltage electricians. Nobody is calling me back. Am I offending somebody? What is the problem? I want to give you money for a service that you supposedly provide. I can't believe this. So when I do hardwire, I have to go all the way to my router. I've got a 100-foot Ethernet.
Oh yeah.
Hardwire all the way to my laundry room because that's where the fucking box is.
Right.
It's a joke.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to update my setup, bro, and nobody's calling me back. It's insane.
I think this is a twofold conversation here that has many deep layers to it. One is the lack of blue collar trades that are available in our world today as we get lazier and lazier and nobody wants to hyper specialize.
There you go. Get my bootstraps pulled up here before you continue here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Dirty hands, clean money, bro. And we're just trying to give away that clean money. And that would be one avenue of it. And then the other avenue is it's too small scale a job for them to want to send a truck to send someone to put on. They're looking for hey, here's a home renovation where we're rewiring the whole house, or here's a hot water tank job that needs power to a bathroom or whatever, or to a laundry room or whatever, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. Like I'm gonna tip. Like, you know, you're going in my attic, you're, you know, fishing the wire. Like there's a lot to do here, man. Just help a brother out. Help a brother out.
Crazy that like you guys have a pretty new built house by my understanding, right? Like you guys.
Yeah,
like
I'm like 99% sure they forgot to put it in this room. I'm like, there's no way I would have forgot to tell them I need an Ethernet port in here. Like I know what I do. Like
yeah. All right, Nez. For me, this kind of looks like Melo and Ant Edwards, but what do you think?
Yeah, I think we start with Ant.
Okay.
And finish with Melo.
Yeah, I kind of like that. It feels a little bit tear breaky. I could see the bull case for pulling up Klingon here or pulling up Austin Reeves and being like, "Hey, here's your double bubble leverage off of." And I know my reasoning would be good matchup for Klingon, projects well, and then I would also be double bubble leverage with Reeves. That, hey, how do I double down on my Wemby team doing better than my Luka teams? Well, that's probably because LeBron does better or Reeves does better, something like that.
Yeah. I'm trying to be cognizant of these combos as always here.
Yeah. We got some friends and family in here. We got Topes, we got Sanjay Rich, we got Re-Spooked hanging out with us. Re-Spooked, rewiring the spokes on his rims there. Re-Spoked. We're gonna start calling him Re-Spoked.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got some spokes.
Yeah. The triple LA alpha play there. All right, here we go. We got Golden State news rolling in half an hour later than we thought. Quentin Post has been ruled out. Guy Santos with a Q tag. D'Anthony Melton with a Q tag. So those Q tags carry over to today. Popeye drafting a sick dance team. Whoa! I'm not going to say this one out loud yet, Nez, because I got a pick for us. Oh, never mind. I don't have a pick for us.
Did you just read that as though it was his brother?
I read Seth Curry as Steph Curry.
Fucking classic, dude. I knew that's what you were getting at.
I thought we just got a Q tag on Steph Curry. There's been rumors. There's been murmurs from Kerr that they won't bring him back to play just in one play-in game. He has to play before that. And they're talking about Sunday being the target date for him. So if he had a Q tag today, that wouldn't have been the craziest thing in the world. So a Steph Curry, I didn't want to say it out loud until the fourth round came around for us. But a Steph Curry there would have been a little something, but he still has the out tag right there.
Yeah, that was almost something.
We could find another way. We could find another way to light more money on fire, like I did yesterday with Joel Embiid out tags in the last round.
Oh man, you did that?
Oh yeah. And I was telling people to do it on stream too. I was like, dude, he's telling people he's going to play basketball. Like, this is a binary decision, but like, just fucking do it. And I had a couple nice ones. Like I had I think the one I did on stream was George Usman Dang Embiid to finish.
Wow.
Yeah. Like it was, some of these teams slopped too.
No regrets?
No regrets. Right across my chest.
Bold man.
I am a bold man, dude. Actually, you know what? I've been really. I told people yesterday, and I think this is why I've been feeling shitty, is because I can't sleep after I play hockey. Like I'm wired. Like the boys have come in the chat before, and they say like Warner's a psychopath. Like I am a psychopath. Like don't get me wrong. Like I'm a very mild mannered, chill individual. Nez can attest to this. But when I play a sport, like the flip switches, I don't take it too seriously. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not like that hardo dude. Let's make these picks here.
Okay.
Dennis Jacobs comes back to us. I think we both really liked J-Dub today as a potential minutes uptick in a good, just a good real life basketball game.
Yeah.
I I like Dennis today, but like I'm not in love with like, I don't know. We could do the Trey Murphy thing and then swap to Sadiq Bey if it doesn't go right. We could also just pretend that Trey Murphy doesn't play basketball today and scroll to Sadiq Bey. Or we could take one of these three that all look, pretty strong at the top.
Yeah, I mean, I would tell you to take Dennis, man, but if you want to take Trey Murphy, take Trey Murphy.
No, let's do Dennis. Dennis looks like solid. He's a little floory, but it goes well with the Ant Edwards stuff. So, yeah. Now I'm not like a Pims guy either. Like I'm not like a hardo. Like I'm just fucking intense. Like when I play something, like I just flip a switch, but it's only in the moments that matter. Like I would never be like that in like slow pitch baseball or like co-ed soccer or like something like this. I would never be like hardo like that. But when it's like, grown men, like ex-pro players, Div 1 playoff hockey, like I'm a psychopath. Like, yes, I am that dude. But I've been playing a lot of poker recently, and I have noticed that, like, I always play a little bit, but I've been playing a lot of heads up recently. And I do notice that, like, heads up poker makes me, like, pretty, like, alpha aggro and, like, kind of mean. Like, like, it's just like that.
It carries over.
Yeah. But my point for all of this was I was thinking of the next iteration of what our games are going to look like and where the pivots, the changes, and the whatever can occur. Because when I've been playing poker recently, I've noticed that like everybody learns through solvers, right? And they all play the exact fucking same, right? Everybody plays the exact same, and they learn to play this like ABC style. And I think inadvertently, everybody has learned to play the exact same way in our draft games. So I'm thinking like, where's the pivot? Where's the new mantra? Where's the new shake up the room guy gonna come from? Like, what could they do? And I don't know. I wanted to pose that question with no thought or back training of like, who's the next like gonna come in here and really shake things up? What would they do that's like so crazy and different?
I always thought that somebody would come in and, have a lot of money and go all or nothing and try to scoop leaderboards every single slate. And we get a mega aggro player that we've never seen before. Just come in and they're just like RT99ing like once a month. And it's just like, holy shit, this guy just took down 50% of the prize pool because he played 100% at 150 of one guy.
Right. Yeah, where they talk like what we talk about in baseball, where it's like instead of playing to win the slate, you're playing to win the season, and like you get hyper concentrated night over night over night because it's just one slate, but you have this elongated view that it's like,
yeah, you could win like 20K if you hit on something like that.
Right. Yeah, I think there were guys that took that approach in the. Let's make this pick here. I think Fox is an easy click for us. I'm scared about the Jared Allen minutes. I think Jalen Green is fine. Asar is fine. We talked about Brooke Lopez. Santos, who do you like?
Fox, pick 36 is pretty tough.
Okay. Yeah. I think there's a chance he just gets straight listed out tag when we get the injury report. Yeah. But like, he positively correlates with Wemby and that game playing tight. And as you said, it's an ADP value.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scoot Henderson down here as well. Benny Math. There's a lot of good scrolls today that are like, they're not like yesterday's scrolls, like as we alluded to. But yeah, dude, I kind of like where you're at on that. Like where it's like someone will come in here and they'll just be like 150 overlapping combos for the first, 3 rounds or whatever, and then kind of like scatter shot your back end scrolls. The problem with it is like not every slate is conducive to that or sets up that way. Like there's not as clear and defined tiers, and it'd be harder to execute in basketball just because like the power of the 101s versus the 102s. Yeah. But I could see that. Maybe that's a salary cap, strategy ported over, but like those guys died on redacted, Those guys did not survive the cold front winters of the redacted streets where people were playing like 90% of a dude in not cash, right? Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's hard. I mean, yeah, it's like, can you do that 700 for 750 over and over and over, as opposed to like the 10K or whatever the hell it costs to like do it over at DraftKings? Like, the risk of ruin's way worse because like you're also probably going to min cash a little bit here and there.
Right. I think that's probably pretty good on our basketball segment there. We're going to jump in the NFL streets, but before doing so, Nez, I told the people while you were in the washroom there that I don't have a lot to say on a 2-game, MLB slate, that it's like, hey, obviously Arizona's a better place to hit than San Francisco. We can look at the weather conditions. We can look at the whatever. I mean, you got lefty stuff with like Soto versus Ray, which makes like Soto a little bit less intriguing to me at the 102, that I would rather have Ronald Acuna today. And just like kind of some of these like micro things. But like the long and the short of it is you're just going to have to find guys who are going to scroll, who are going to be like either higher in the lineup than people anticipate on a day like today, or you're going to just have to find like, BVP outliers, or you're going to have to find like little micro stuff like that on a day like today. I don't have anything profound to say on the slate.
No, these slates are just so much game theory. It's just like, be mindful of your combos, scroll. Yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah, like look no further than yesterday, right? Where it's like a Kyle Isbell plus, I can't even remember who the other outfielder was from Kansas City.
Isaac Collins.
Yeah, Isaac Collins, Kyle Isbell. I assume that's a wraparound outfield only stack. And then no Bobby Witt, no Vinny P, none of the studs in there. Like, you're just going to have to get creative with stuff like that because, baseball is a binary outcome sport, right? And if those, maybe that lineup doesn't win if those games don't play to high totals, and they played to high totals late in those ball games yesterday. But like, there's definitely correlation in terms of like which game can play higher too, because like, there's not like back and forth like in other sports or like pace of play stuff, but your shittier relievers on a 2-game slate come into play, right? So like if you're up by 8, well, who are you going to throw? You're going to throw a shitty reliever, and then you're going to throw a position player in the late innings, which is bullish for the other side of the offense. So there's like a little bit of game theory when it comes to like, stacking one game or stacking something like that, but it's not as clean as basketball in terms of like correlation patterns.
No, yeah, not at all. Like, not way different in that regard.
All right, dude, let's do this. We've been hesitant to do so for a while here, but we're going big board, $10. We're locking this $10 up until February of next year or whatever the fuck. 7 spots. Let's have a little fun. I don't know shit. I'm sure Nez knows more than me. I've listened to a couple pods here and there about the rookies and that sort of thing, but I save my football stuff till we are post-draft. I don't need to speculate on landing spot for my exposures and then pat myself on the back. I knew the Seahawks were going to take so-and-so. That's why I got 36% of this fucking running back, bro. I just don't need that in my life, man. I'll play baseball every day instead. So, yeah, but we got to appease the people. We got to get in here. We got to make a fool of ourselves, Nezzy. We got to get in here, and we have the draft capital buckets from the solver. Yeah, PPR Tyler, will you teach me football? Can you teach me football, please, my friend?
Tyler gave me some takes to help us out here. Glad we get the 101. That was his first take, was get the 101. Are you Bijan or Gibbs though?
I don't know, man. Okay, let's talk about it. I don't know. I'm not Puka, Mr. Rehab. I'm not going there, but I don't know. We got Brian Robinson coming in for Bijan Robinson, and then Jahmyr Gibbs. We have David Montgomery leaving. So I don't know. I'm looking at this one in the ETR rankings for Jahmyr Gibbs. He seems, I know we've always been like Bijan guys around here, but like Jahmyr Gibbs pretty fucking electric. He gives me peak Alvin Kamara vibes where, this all makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's Bijan.
You think it's Bijan? All right.
I think Bijan, like, if Tua's Bijan's quarterback, forget about it. Like, he's going ape shit this season. I mean, it's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be ridiculous. I mean, I feel like he's going to do like Pete Christian McCaffrey numbers.
Okay.
In terms of just like the checkdowns and the design stuff for Bijan, like I feel much better about that than I do with Penix. And yeah, I mean, I feel like two is going to come in and be the starter.
I think that's a good point with the Penix stuff, because Penix, even like back in the day at UW, like he was like a full-fledged air it out, push it down the field, never check down kind of guy. Like that's what he was. He was like big play, like deep stuff. So this does make sense that like the Tua parallels to the Achane experience with Bijan. Assumption of rational coaching in the middle there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Gibbs like easily like 102. I mean, it's quite the chasm, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like 90% of the work. You know, you could basically sleepwalk through this draft and draft a good team at this point.
This is a very strong first round. Like just in general. Like, you know how there's like years where you're like, the back end of the first round, not as good as the back end of the, you know, like, yeah, that reigns true. But like, if I saw Jamar Chase go Triple Crown, Puka, JSN, or CeeDee Lamb go Triple Crown, like I would not bat an eye, man. Like I know the rumors that they want to take a little bit more off CMC's plate. Like those are kind of just evergreen with him. Like if J. Jeff finishes as like wide receiver 1 with Kyler, like I wouldn't be shocked. Or if Kyler falls off the planet and he just like finishes as like, you know, a round 2 or round 3 guy, like I wouldn't be shocked. Like I guess the most systemic risk guy would be like Achane, just given the fact that they got rid of everybody and now they have a rushing quarterback. So I don't know. It just feels like a very strong first round right now. And maybe that's just because everybody's healthy.
Yeah, maybe. But I agree. I think it's strong. I'll have like no Achane this year, I don't think.
Yeah.
If he's going to go in like at the 1-2 turn, I'd have to think twice.
Okay.
This team is like insanely bad.
Yeah, they do look awful.
I just like I don't really know how else to say it. Like they are clearly rebuilding.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Ken Walker now a second round pick with his landing spot. I like Ken Walker, but that feels like a little high, no? I don't know.
Ken Walker with Mahomes sounds pretty fucking fun.
Yeah, it does, right? Jeremiah Love going in the second round there. Put him on the cover just as like a talking point. Everybody thinks he's, you know, the next like Bijan style, or maybe let's say Saquon style, like running back prospect.
Yeah. Sorry, let's look at our queue because these are very quick picks, so I just don't want to miss it.
Sure.
Okay.
Nico Collins sounds fun. Chris Olave with the concussion stuff. AJ Brown's here.
Let's queue up Nico. I like Nico Collins.
Yeah. And then I don't know, people were talking about Brock Bowers being like a first rounder. Like contingent plan of Brock Bowers is now Kirk Cousins, which doesn't sound like the floor completely falls out.
No. I mean, it's fine. I'm cool with Bowers.
All right, let's do it.
It feels like a pretty OP to be able to like, you know, anchor Bijan, get a wide receiver 1 and Nico, and then throw on Bowers to that team. I think that's part of why these starts are so nutted.
Yeah.
And because I think Mendoza's just going to start. I think Kirk Cousins is just like an expensive backup because they have so much money.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, maybe a little bit of a mentor type of deal. I don't know. But I think Mendoza's a real deal. Been a lot of talk about Mendoza this offseason, but I think he's got a lot of dog.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good with it. I watched the national championship. I watched him through the college football playoffs. I know he was a transfer. I know his, you know, like he seems like a good dude on the mic and stuff, like just like so happy go lucky and like nice and the God notions and all this sort of stuff. And like, I don't know, outside of his like actual like play style and stuff like that, my interpretation is like he seems like he's going to be like what Trevor Lawrence was his first couple years in the league, where it was like he can run a little bit. He's got like the perfect frame. He's got the perfect like setup to be a pro style quarterback, right? Like it's like that's what they're drafting him as, like this traditional guy. And it's not that like, hey, he's gonna break fantasy for anybody. It's like he's gonna be QB10 for the next like 5 years if everything plays right, right?
Yeah, and yeah, pretty interesting comp with Lawrence. I think Lawrence was even a better maybe.
Oh, he's definitely a better prospect.
Yeah,
yeah. Mm-hmm. Lawrence was like blue chip prospect, but like, yeah.
I mean, yeah, Mendoza. I just he's got, like you said, he's got the personality that you want. Like I feel like he's just like all football all the time. That's it and that's all, which is like definitely what you want from like attitude perspective and everything and buy-in. Yeah, I think, I'm in on him, man. And he runs a little bit, man. He's kind of a tank. I don't know if people think of him like that, but like, I think he's kind of like my, like silly comp for him. I'm not saying he's going to be this, but like, he kind of is Josh Allen-y to me.
Okay.
Just in terms of like being able to run at that level. I don't know. Like, I don't think he's going to be Josh Allen battering ram levels, but
no, yeah.
I'm bullish. All that to say.
Like it. It's fun just to kind of like learn the landscape as you go. Like not as sloppy as years past, and maybe that's a reflection on the draft class. Like we have one rookie go in the first like 43 picks right now.
Yeah, people are way down on this draft class.
Yeah. Wesley saying doesn't think the running will translate. Okay. That's kind of what I've been reading, but I don't know. Colson Loveland goes there. I think it was probably good to pass on AJ Brown because you kind of fall into this nice little pocket of wide receivers here.
Yeah, like Mike Luther Evans feels good to me.
Luther Burden? Yeah. All right. I'm good with Burton now that there's no DJ Moore. Will we fall way too behind at running back if we don't pull someone up here? Or should we go ahead and just take like Mike Evans or something?
I would probably take Scattaboo.
Oh, I don't like it. Let's push it. Let's take Mike Evans.
All right.
Like a perennial 1K guy going to Shanny. Like I know he was finally hurt last year for like the first time in forever, but it was like a collarbone. Let's sloppy this shit up and use Anchor Bijan. Dude, there's rumors that the Giants won't even use Scattaboo as like I know we're the Scatta boys, but like coming off of like a horrific looking ankle injury, and they have like the 5th or 6th overall pick, whatever they have there, that they're like, if Love falls, that they'll take Love and
they're
stuff.
Not taking Jeremiah Love. They're so full of shit.
Yeah.
They're not taking Jeremiah Love.
Yeah.
Like there's just no way. Now that Harbaugh is there to like kind of squirt water at Mara or Shane whenever Joe Shane like wants to make dumbass decisions, like he apparently this is like Harbaugh's team and Harbaugh's calling the shots. And I don't think they're gonna like with this fresh face. Like I think that they are going to be smarter than Jeremiah Love in the first round.
Okay, cool. We see our first rookie wide receiver go in Tate there. He coming out of the wide receiver factory that is Ohio State University.
He go ahead of Lemon.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to ask you. So people are talking about Lemon. And, Lemon profiles as kind of like the slot guy, the like little bit undersized guy, but he's in the same mold or vein as like, hey, is this JSN 2.0 or whatever? Like we can see these guys go to the next level and be moved all over the place, but might struggle to get on the field if it's a multiple tight end team. Like Tate's kind of more of the X profile in my understanding, going ahead of Marvin Harrison Jr., who was exactly that before him. which is just kind of fun to see how we're done with the old, out with the old, in with the new kind of thing when it comes to these players. I don't know. Who do you like more, Lemon or Tate right now?
I was doing Lemon in my
Yeah.
drafts.
So much hinging upon landing spot, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Gone are the days of the piss boys here because there's a lot of green going down. The purple is pushed down, which is kind of evergreen in the early draft windows. Like, Nezzy, what have you been doing? Have you been like 3 quarterback builds in these, 3 tight end builds? Like, we got 20 roster spots to work with in the big board. So, the 3.
No, everybody's doing 3. I go 2. I get 2 good ones or 2 that I feel confident about. And then I just throw shots elsewhere because there's just so many draft spots here, but 3 is probably ideal. Okay. On the clock. Mondre feels good.
Yeah. I think that one's good. And then either like Tuba, Michael Wilson feels a little hot.
Yeah, no thank you. I like Alec Pierce too.
Sutton's
fine.
Sutton feels like safer than Alec Pierce. Like, Alec Pierce feels like we're wish casting him to be Sutton. Like, why not just take Sutton?
Yeah, I think Sutton's the safer play.
Yeah, like Alec Pierce, we don't even know if his quarterback's healthy. Like, sure, he got the bag and people are like excited about him, but like, I don't know. He's staying with the same team. Does the vertical threat all of a sudden become the X? And Pittman leaving is enough to be like, here, go to work.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely fair to question, right? I mean, how many games did he end up playing last year? It wasn't a full slate of games, I don't think.
I don't recall.
Yeah, 15 games.
Yeah.
But 1,000 yards, 800 the year before. The A-dot, I like the fact that the A-dot carried over from last year into this year. So that way it's not just like, oh, like he had a high A-dot 1 year and it's a fluke. Yeah, I think it's fair to assume that they are going to give this guy more targets. Like he hasn't had a 100 target season yet. I get that we're buying high on Alec Pierce.
Yeah.
But in terms of wide receiver rooms, like he's the wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
And he has a pretty decent profile for it. Like it kind of feels like budget JMO. Is how I would describe it.
JMO. Yeah, but the nice thing about JMO is like this offense is like super up tempo and is going to go. We've seen them go burr for multiple years, kind of thing. Whereas like, I don't even know if this offense is going to be able to move the ball if Daniel Jones isn't right.
Yeah.
Right. Like Jonathan Taylor can, I guess, but yeah, I don't know. Interesting comps. I don't have any takes, so I'm just kind of like formulating on the fly here and like playing devil's advocate for the sake of devil's
Parker Washington going side by side with Alec Pierce, I think is just like hilarious.
Yeah. That's a fair take. But I'm looking at like this team almost won the AFC last year in Denver. Bo Nix takes another step forward. Wide receiver room isn't great and kind of banged up in the postseason there. And like, what's the stable, spot been for like the last 3 years with them with a 1K guy? Well, it's Courtland Sutton. And I'm like, okay, we're taking that versus like the wish casting for Alec Pierce, in my estimation, was that he found a new landing spot. And now that we know he's staying there, like, I'm just kind of like, okay, now he's overpriced, Alec Pierce, right?
Yeah, I do think it would have been more fun if he went elsewhere for sure. Yeah. But still think that every other move that they made kind of like corresponds to him being a pretty large focal point of their offense and doing it in ways that, score points in bunches.
Yeah. Kind of a different trend here. You can tell like, who some of the guys who have been drafting a lot are and stuff like that. I really wanted to do the Purdy at 96. He doesn't make it back. Purdy goes with Pearsall at like 85, 84 there. We can see that the guys who are like cranking purple are like now double tapping like good quarterbacks in these windows.
This is where quarterbacks go early and often. Like we do need a quarterback.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we got Caleb and CJ probably will be options for us.
Caleb.
Oh no, Caleb's already gone. Dart goes. Herbert goes. Bo Nix is a really easy stack. Your boy Jalen Warren comes all the way back. The ETR stuff likes it, and the solver likes it. Unless you think we need another quarterback. You almost need
like Stafford for the floor or Jordan Love for a back stack or
how Kyler? We don't like Kyler. We like Jordan Love more.
No, Kyler's fun.
Let's do Kyler. I'm addicted to drafting Kyler. If we're gonna do the 2 quarterbacks and like get ahead of it before it gets like bad, let's just see if KOC can make Kyler a dude again.
Yeah.
Like maybe the touchdowns were just like always Kyler's fault and like he just can't see over the line of scrimmage. And that was actually true when it comes to like all his decision making with like why Trey McBride couldn't score touchdowns beforehand. But like, dude, what if Kyler like low-key just turns back the clock to what he was early on?
My bullish Kyler take, since we just took him here, is like, there's an alternate universe where he starts and Jacoby doesn't, and he's the one lighting up garbage time because like Jacoby wasn't even good. Like they didn't win any games.
Okay.
Like it could have easily just been Kyler like putting up 300-yard games, 60 yards on the ground because they're playing catch up the entire time. Like Jacoby didn't do anything that good. Oh my God, let's fucking go, bro. We just got the fucking Konnor Griffin extension. Oh my God. Let's fucking go, dude.
That's good.
He got more than Roman Anthony.
Well, yeah, rightfully so, I guess.
It wasn't a sure thing.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. PBR Tyler hanging out in the chat. Now he's coming up with audition tapes here. What do we got going on here? All right, let's find this
me, man. Oh my God.
Respectfully pass, but
oh yeah, right.
9 years, 140. Wow.
Oh man. So they announced it before, so they just said screw the compensation, huh?
Yeah, so what's the deal with the timing of the extension here?
They're gonna explain it more. It's a huge topic of conversation. So can you like announce it and then have him sign it and then still get that later, or does that like nullify it if you leak it to the press?
Right. Yeah. Like, is it when the ink is dry, or is it when? Yeah, that's actually a good point. I imagine they wouldn't sign it if they knew it would be detrimental to them. Like, you know what I mean? Like I think if they know, I think they do their due diligence and their research to know that like, okay, we're allowed to say we're announcing it, and then he'll play an inning, and then we'll sign it.
Yeah, and then we can.
Yeah, like I don't think. It. Yeah, I don't think they would.
I don't either.
Yeah,
but it's like if you know it's going to happen, I guess like, hey. Yeah, I assume that you can still do it the right way.
Wesley with the chat comment of the day here. This is good. 1 less year than his draft round in the dinger. I'm reading that as a comp pick, take. Like that's pretty good. But yeah, round 10 in the dinger, and he gets 9 years. Unbelievable. Good shit. That's great. That'll keep him up all year. Actually, didn't tell you, Nez, that we did it. I think it's because I ran both shows by myself there. But that Friday night that we did the get together with the 20 of us and did the 2 baseball drafts or whatever, like the IRL ones, I took them with my second pick in a keeper league. Like just
easy.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take them for Nez here. My keepers are already disgusting in that league. Like it's like Bobby Witt and Jordan and all this stuff. So then I was like, all right, we'll just go with this.
Yeah, I love that. This is going to be my last pick because I need to go celebrate. No, this is my 3:00 time here. I don't mind a Shuck or Stafford and shutting it down. I know I've talked about two.
Let's take somebody else. Say somebody else's name in this area.
Josh Downs.
All right, Downs it is. Yeah, do you want to do that, or would you rather just wait and take CJ or stack CJ with Nico?
Take CJ, I guess, and Jonah Coleman is a popular name right now. Rashad White, I don't think is terrible.
Can we push
running back is Jonah Coleman? Sorry.
All right, take Jonah Coleman. That's good, UW boy, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he was nice last year. Like he's been good. He's been good for a while. He's a bit older though. I think he's like a senior. No,
yeah.
If he's the UW kid, he's a senior for sure.
I like him older.
Like him older, he says. All right, Jonah Coleman. It is. I think that was the right move. We spent double quarterback capitals. Like if Kyler is the best pick on the board, as PPR Tyler is telling me, like then we can go ahead and we got a pretty safe quarterback room here, and we could tack on the third one soon. So structurally, Nez, like obviously we used Bijan as an anchor here. Wemby out. The good news, the peaks and valleys, the emotional peaks and valleys out here of the games. We get Konnor Griffin in one breath over here, and then we get Wemby out in this breath over here. They sat Luke Cornett last night, so we will see. Luke Cornett will come into play for us in those late rounds if he plays big minutes tonight. That makes the Brook Lopez stuff a little less interesting, but they'll still play him full and play a lot. And he has a better matchup now, but you don't need him as much now. All right, Nez, we got anchor Bijan. We only got 3 running backs through the first 11 rounds, not financial advice by the new standard of drafting around here. We got Collins, we got anchor Bowers, we got Burden, we got Mike Evans, and then we got a cheeky little Cortland Sutton to Bo Nix. We got naked Kyler, but I'm sure there's someone who stacks later in the draft. And then we got Josh Downs, who how much different could it be than Alec Pierce 4 rounds apart? And then good UW boy, Jonah Coleman, who people are talking.
They like him. Yeah. You think you got this? The only other thing that PPR Tyler said to me, draft the shit out of early RB. Oops. Well, we got Bijan, so that's okay.
Early RB.
Take 3 QBs.
Okay. So structurally, like what are people doing? Like 3-7-3 right now, or like what are we doing out here?
I think so.
3-7-7-3. Wow.
Adam Randall too. Adam Randall and Michael Trigg are my last names that I'll leave you with.
Wait, hold on. You gotta say them again and put them in the private chat because I don't know them. Who are they?
Adam Randall. Michael Trigg.
All right. Never heard of him, pal. Never Jonah Coleman.
Oh, man. I'm going to go run a fucking marathon right now.
There you go, man. Happy for you guys. All I can offer on my side is Colt Emerson. Happy to have him. Colt Emerson getting Connor Griffin money. What time will tell. Yeah.
All right.
All right, Nez is out. Okay, we don't get CJ Stroud to come back to us. Did you guys hear that Jonathan Brooks was like running the other day? Like, fuck that. I'm done with that. But like, that's kind of encouraging. Aaron Jones stacks. He restructured. Oh, of course, Wessie. Of course. He restructured his deal. Mike Washington, is that the guy that's getting all the hype for the athletic testing? Mike Washington was the athletic freak, right? Let's just take rookie running backs and see what happens. Mike Washington, welcome to the team. Zach Charbonnet is not going to play football for a while. Dude, Keaton Mitchell, that's kind of fun. Is Travis Hunter even going to play on offense? Brandon Ayuk's probably moving on. Dude, I think we just take Danny Dimes here and lock up our quarterback room and get a skinny stack to Downs. I don't know. Yeah, Wemby is out. Who the fuck's playing center for the Spurs tonight? My anticipation, we'll look at the injury report in a second here, but my anticipation is they would not rule out Wemby if Luke Cornett wasn't available. They haven't officially filed yet. So give it a second. They'll officially file, and then we can figure some stuff out from there. Brooks is a low-key smash. They already benched Chuba once. All right. I mean, like, Jonathan Brooks was like everybody's favorite for like a while, man. What was that? 2 years ago? 3 years ago now? Time's a flat circle. John never wrong with Luka 101. The people are talking, man. People are talking. Probably not going to play today. We got game 7 in one of the series, aka game 3. And then I got game 1 in the finals in another series. And I'm playing 2 tonight. So I actually think my wife's going to come out and watch for the first time in maybe almost ever. Watch me play hockey. Kind of embarrassing. Yeah, it could be a Kelly O. Split the slate wide open. Good callback, John. Good callback. 25% Wemby. You hate to see it. PBR Tyler's telling me this guy's the missile. So Mike Washington's the missile. Dude, where's like Singleton go? Dude, Singleton like barely gets drafted. He was supposed to be like RB1 last year. Huh. Okay. I'm like not like totally out. Sadiq's the Oregon guy. I don't know who Cooper Jr. is. I'll admit that. I don't know who that is. KC Concepcion is like everybody's favorite, like worst kept secret. Who's Boston? Who's Boston? Someone's got to tell me. Oh, that's the UW kid. Never mind. I see these names out of context and I go like, who's who? That's Denzel Boston. D Boston? All right. I'm slowly putting it together. Travis Hunter, is he going to play offense this year? Travis Hunter going at pick 153 right beside Brenton Strange. You hate to see it. The haters and losers are down so fucking bad. You hate to see it. Never wrong. Wow, Tajay Spears, 158. That's a big difference between ADP. Isaiah Pacheco, I guess his ADP is artificially propped up because people thought he was going to be on the... Everybody thought he was going to be on KC. Chris Rodriguez goes pretty high here. I think we need some running backs. Wow, we can just take like good wide receivers. Like we can take like Debo and Tyreek Hill and like hope they sign somewhere. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. All right, call me an old head sloppy idiot. We're just going to take like Debo and Tyreek and see where they end up. And then we're done at wide receiver. I don't know. Are they even going to play football and I'm just clicking names that I like? But like Tyreek Hill in the 15th round, like how bad could that be? Am I crazy? Yeah, Boston, maybe. Let's go. Oh, Cooper Jr. was the Indiana kid? Okay. All right, we're learning out here. Little steam for late round 1 for him. Keon Coleman 2.0. The worst guy at the party is saying Travis Hunter's a full-time corner. I am the worst guy at the party. I am the worst guy at the party. Grainsy saying mainly defense as a Jags fan. I don't see Trav playing too much offense. BTJ, Jacoby, and Parker at wide receiver. David Boston's kid. Good bloodlines. Let's get it. Let's get it. I think he's a Washington area kid too. Like, I think he was like a local kid. Nick Claxton. My eyes just snapped over here. I got excited for these news nuggets, and it's a Nick Claxton news nugget. That we don't need. Jalen Naylor has a new home with the Raiders. All right. Aaron Rodgers getting drafted without a team. I guess people just assume he's going back to Pittsburgh, right? Mike McCarthy tie-ins. Makes sense. They went out and got Michael Pittman as well. Emmanuel Wilson. Is that a good pick, guys? Like, Emmanuel Wilson had a couple electric games. I mean, I can vividly remember we are at the swim up bar at Stadium Swim for the Friday night game of the ship chasing party. And Emmanuel Wilson, we had the over on his rushing yards, and it was on that Brazil game, and the Brazil field was like allegedly trash or whatever. And Josh Jacobs did nothing with like his first 10 touches. And then Emmanuel Wilson gets in the ball game and he rips off like, boom, 120 yarder. And we all hit the over on like the very first play. And we were all going nuts in the swim up bar pool. I vividly remember that. But I remember Emmanuel Wilson, like in the starts that like we didn't have Jacobs last year, like when he was stone cold chalk and he was like a scroll the F down on our site, like he had a couple of nice games, but man, no Zach Charbonnet. Then he's going to miss time. Like what, 8 to 9 months probably from the NFC Championship game onward. They're like everyone's favorite landing spot for any running back right now is like Seattle. I don't know. Seattle could regress too. Take Kubiak away. Trey Harris. Stour goes, okay, let's keep slapping it up. I did see some reports that Alvin Kamara is like going to play this year and like blah, blah, blah. Bigsby feels like a full-fledged handcuff. DK feels like so redundant. Vidal. I don't know, man. This is ugly. Let's take another tight end. Let's take Njoku. Njoku finds a new home. Professional tight end. It's crazy that like my wide receiver room, our capital bucket hasn't even like hit. And I was like, oh, we fucking slapped at wide receiver. We took all these wide receivers early and I still haven't hit the allotted capital bucket because they all suck. Yeah, can't improve on winning a Super Bowl. You're right. But I just meant like systemic risk of the offense where like they performed at ceiling last year. Whereas like there's been teams in the past where they go to the Super Bowl and then the next year we're like just as excited to draft them. Like the Eagles, for instance, right? Like the Eagles go to the Super Bowl and then the next year we're still like, oh yeah, that offense, go Burr. Like, I don't know. Seattle feels like a good football team. They don't feel like an amazing offense. And maybe that's not enough credit to Sam Darnold and everything he's done. Okay, but Kamara's not going to retire. Kamara's going to come back and be a thorn in the side of ETN. Like Kamara feels like a floor usable weeks guy down here, which is interesting because he could just be like 6 and 6 each week, like in terms of like 6 carries, 6 catches, like in a trailing script or something. Kamani Vidal with the Chargers there. Chargers got, deeper in the backfield there. That's a little hand cuck action with the Hampton stuff, but they also took Keaton Mitchell on. People getting excited about Gunnar Helm with Chiga Konkwu gone. That makes sense. Makes sense. Sean Tucker's job security seems a bit better. Staying in Tampa Bay. Dude, there's murmurings all the time about Bucky Irving, like, not loving football and like not wanting to play football and shit, right? What else we got? Go back to the chat here. Who's a new OC? I imagine you're referring to the Seahawks. It's that Flurry guy. He's from San Francisco. San Francisco running back coach or San Francisco tight end coach? One of the two. And then he was the run game guy for Seattle. He's like an internal promotion guy. Like he was San Francisco, then came over. Then he was like the running backs. I think he was like running backs coach there, then tight ends coach here, or vice versa. And then they promoted him. All right, guys, tell me what to do here. 3-5-7-2. We probably need a third tight end, even though it's a Bowers team. Or is David Njoku enough to get away with without not having to have another tight end? Man, there's still so many like usable names down here. Like George Halani. George Halani's fine. Trey Benson's fine. Ray Davis is fine. Jaden Blue. We were taking Jaden Blue in like the third round last year. Not actually, but like people got so excited about it. What was Nez's names? Randall. Adam Randall. And what Triggs? Michael Trigg. All right, these are Nez's picks. Adam Randall, scroll the F down at the running back. He thinks he's going to get some burn. And Michael Trigg as our third tight end. That fit our roster really nicely. And then one last wide receiver to end it all. We slap it up in an awful draft year where nobody wants to draft the running backs. We took all of them. We took all of them. Not take a third tight end. Okay. Can't get away with just two out here. So got to take on Michael Trigg's 0.3 fantasy points per week. Got to do it. Got to get a rookie tight end. Because historically speaking, they break out all the time. Got to do it. Ty Johnson, just like get the receiving game work in the running back room. I respect it. That's why Ray Davis is not as enjoyable. Who's in the Packers room right now? Like people think Marshawn Lloyd's still a thing. Chris Brooks has had some games in the past. Once upon a time, Miami Dolphin. We played Chris Brooks on a showdown slate once upon a time. Vividly remember losing money on him. Man, how about that Devon Vele trade last year? We have not made enough about how fucking bad that trade was. That trade was awful. Like, what were they doing, man? Yeah. Actually, you know what other trade doesn't get brought up enough anymore? Jonathan Mingo. Like, what the fuck was Dallas doing in that one? These wide receiver trades, these don't get talked about enough. We got to talk about these more frequently. We got to talk about bad teams staying bad with awful trades. Devon Vele, Jonathan Mingo. Sure. All right, let's take a look at some guys showing off out here. Horton, coming back from the injury, goes ahead of Cooper Kupp. Okay. Halani has a last round pick or second to last round. Troy Franklin I don't know what his injury timeline looks like. Pat Bryant down here. I don't know. Does Minnesota have any wide receivers to stack? I kind of just forgot about like stacking and stuff. Dude, remember when we were drafting Ty Felton last year? Is it finally Ty Felton's season? Miss Yetling telling me Ted Hurst is the pick. All right. Talk to me about Ted Hurst. Calvin Austin the third. Westy Dog is showing off. All right, we're going with Ted Hurst. Another rookie pick. He's at the top of the queue. He's got a 220 pick. Keenan Allen still doesn't have a home. Jahan Dotson's in Atlanta. We kind of forgot about stacking because we just have naked Kyler. But hey, maybe they get Debo or Tyreek Hill. Yeah, go Hurst. George Pickens 2.0. All right. Is that like a Georgia? Is that a Georgia thing? Or is that an archetype of player who got in trouble back in the day and was like kind of like a hothead and now he's coming out? Ted Hurst. My boy's got the videos up. The draft profile videos up. 6'3", 185. He's a senior coming out of Georgia State. Directionally accurate Georgia State. All right. Not bad. Okay. I respect the takes. All right, guys. Pretty standard issue here. 3-6-8-3. Bo Nix, Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones coming back from injury. Couple skinny stacks mixed in. We go Bijan over Gibbs. Controversial first pick, but Bijan over Gibbs. And then we kind of punt the running back room, so it's awful. This team sucks. Don't do this at home. We need to take more running backs early than this. But if you're not going to take any running backs early, you simply have to ape in to the worst running back draft class ever. So we go Bijan, we go Ramondre Stevenson, good UW boy Jonah Coleman, Mike Washington, athletic freak, Nicholas Singleton, that Penn State kid who should be the first running back off the board if he didn't get hurt and go back to college. He would have been the first, maybe not the first, but he would have been up there last year if he didn't go back to college. And then Nez told me Adam Randall is his scroll. All right. Nico Collins, Luther Burden, Mike Evans, Cortland Sutton, Josh Downs, Deebo Samuels, Tyreek Hill, and Ted Hurst, Georgia State's finest. Me clicking names of dudes that I know is basically summing up our wide receiver room. And then shout out to the chat for the Ted Hurst. And then Brock Bowers. Everybody was telling me if we get Mendoza at quarterback and they get the first overall pick, Brock Bowers should be going pick number 8, pick number 10. He should be like a first round pick. And we get to pair him with Bijan at 25. So we go ahead and we take Brock Bowers. David Njoku was I don't know what to do. Maybe he finds a good landing spot, and clicked on him. And then Michael Trigg, the scroll the F down rookie tight end to break the models, according to my guy Nezzy Takes. There it is. First big board draft on stream. It was exactly as pathetic and as unintelligent as all of you expected it to be. But I had a lot of fun. I'm not going to lie. I got the itch to do a little bit of football content now. Good to get back in the saddle. Good to do this first draft. The draft capital buckets, according to our solver, they kind of like what we did at running back, which is kind of shocking because it's basically just Bijan as the anchor. But they like what we did at quarterback. They think we're a little bit light at wide receiver, but that's probably just because Tyreek Hill and Deebo Samuel don't have homes, and that'll time out. And pretty middling at tight end. So even if you don't know the player pool, even if you screw up taking no running backs early, you could still draft a somewhat competent looking team by the looks of it here. All right, dude. Bijan and the Bumblebees. Thank you, Rusty. That's exactly what we're going to name this team. Bijan and the Bumblebees, because you guys could see this yellow avatar for all our rookie ones. Beautifully executed. We just got an update in the Hoops Streets. Expected to play Mark Williams Jr. Mike Williams tonight. So probably not worth a sprinkle in the last round, but he's going to get his revenge against the Hornets tonight. Shout out to everybody hanging out in the chat. Much love to you guys. Appreciate you guys being here day in and day out. We had a loaded week here. We covered all the sports. We'll be back on maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday, but keep your ears to the street because we'll probably have a members only between now and then, but it will not be tomorrow. Both Nez and I have some family stuff going on, and it's a holiday for a lot of people. So we're taking tomorrow off there. This is how we're going to close the week. And we'll be back Monday and or Tuesday. And we got a boatload of stuff for you next week. We're going to have more of MLB breakdowns. We're going to have more of the NBA breakdowns. We're going to do a dance contest because we're pushing into the playoff dance, and a lot of stuff has changed in terms of the outlooks of teams there. Probably sneak in another Zamboni at some point, and then it's Masters week next week too. So we'll do the Masters PGA content on the site. Hopefully have some expert to join us. I did reach out to Pat Mayo. He's unavailable to join us, and Skyhook, who did an amazing job last time out, but he said, I probably can't come back if we have the baby beforehand. And he did, in fact, not he, his wife, they had the baby. So congrats to him, but he will not be joining us there either. So we'll push forward, and we'll see if anybody wants to talk some PGA with us next week. But if not, we'll rip some contests there. Best of luck to everybody playing the baseball slate tonight, the smaller one, everyone playing the NBA slate this evening as well. Back to you guys next week. But keep an ear to the street because there will be something members only over the weekend. And now that I'm back in the saddle with the poker stuff, I'm going to do a members only poker stream behind the paywall in the next couple weeks here. As soon as hockey kind of like calms down for us a little bit and we get past like the Easter holiday and whatnot. Anyways, enough words. I hope you guys enjoyed the content today. Best of luck tonight. Everybody's favorite time of the show. The end. Peace. You can see Mr. Good Boy's tail. He's under the desk right now. This fucking guy, man.